Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the Teej. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's gonna clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's gonna open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is gonna protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is gonna make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Teej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night.
And because Teej is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description to get 30% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. By the way, both gifts you're choosing from are a $20 value and a complete game changer. A silicone body scrubber or a nail and face grooming kit. Personally, I prefer the silicone body scrubber. I don't like using towels when I travel, so the body scrubber is an excellent way to open up the pores and get the body clean. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
Maintaining your beard isn't just style, it's self-respect. A well-grown beard boosts confidence and leaves a lasting impression. Elevate your look. Embrace the importance of beard care today. It's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to the Lapeef Network. I'm going to introduce the crew. We got Mr. Marcus. Shan, let's take it. Tara Smooth, Miss Jazz, Dog, Root, Sweeney. What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hi. Sap.
Good.
How's everybody doing?
Fabulous.
Great.
I'm sorry, I was thirsty, man. You ever look forward to some water? Or y'all just drinking pop every day?
Water.
Okay, y'all know y'all think just because it's
You gotta
diet
mix it up.
is good for you.
I'll drink a whole.
What was that, Marcus?
So I drink a whole lot of pop. I can't even front.
I knew you were so quiet there, Brother Marcus. Oh, good, man. I mean, just put some of them little flavor things in there.
I drink sparkling water.
Sparkling water. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Put one of the little packets inside or squeeze some of that stuff in there.
Trev, y'all say pop in New Jersey?
Absolutely not.
We
We
don't
call it
say
soda.
pop. We have soda. I'm like, that's
We call it pop. What you call it? When you pop or soda?
we call it soda over here.
Yep, soda.
Sweeney.
Yeah.
I was asking you a question. I said, do you call it pop or soda?
Pop.
Right, pop. What you, Marcus? Pop, right?
It's definitely pop.
Okay. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. Y'all on the other side, man. Y'all country.
Yep.
We the country ones? Okay.
Yeah,
What?
No, country is pop because it's soda pop. They just say pop. We say the soda.
all right. Yeah, I tried that. Yeah, okay. I'm just reading that. Anyhow, let's go get the housekeeping out the way, man. Shout out to the sponsor, T-Johnny Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. You get 40% off along with a free gift and 20% off for life. So go ahead and click that link, man. If you guys are wondering how I am 56 and still able to keep this good looking skin, you can thank Tej for that. So go ahead and click that link. Also, we are running a Father's Day special. It's right around the corner. It's not too late. Assured Man King on top. This is for your beard. And it's also skin friendly. So if you choose not to use it for your beard, just go ahead and rub it on your body. You just have some soft hair on your skin. Anyhow, put that promo code in, Father, and get 15% off your entire order. Everything on the website is 15% off. So click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat and also in the description. Shout out to the chat. I see Shooter Fat was smooth. It's just Trev. He's in there already. Angela Swift, what's going on, man? Dale Matthew. Embrace E Black. Got AP, Frenchie 7K7, and Sanya 1. Welcome, chat. Welcome. Let's make sure we behave ourselves. Make sure the mods be on y'all job to make sure we are being very respectful to the people on the panel and as well as in the chat. And if you are watching, I suggest you get active in the chat because that's also a separate discussion. And I do highlight some comments that can add value to the conversation as well. So that's the way for you to be able to participate. You can also participate by hitting that like button and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't done so already, please do. If you don't, I understand maybe you'll hit that like button along the way. We got a great show ahead for you guys. I'm looking forward to this discussion. You guys are ready? All right, so we're going to talk about Miss Eboni K. Williams. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with that. Miss Eboni K. Williams, we are all familiar with her. She's pregnant. I guess it must have happened a couple of days ago when the news dropped. I just found out. I was quite surprised. I wasn't paying attention when she said she was doing something with her eggs, but a lot of folks have. So she had, this is what the news said, and she also, I'll give you a little bit more context, but it says the housewife, which is Ebony K. Williams, so she shared that she is pregnant with her first baby. So this is her first baby, a girl due in August, whom she conceived through vitro, I don't know how you pronounce it, fertilization, IVF. Anybody who's gone through IVF or attempted IVF would tell you so many things have to go right for the final result of this journey to be a baby. Ebony 40 told People in an interview published June 5th, that's why I called this my remarkable miracle, because it really does feel like I've been the recipient of some very enormous favor from God above. The news come 2 years after the equal justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams started beginning her fertility journey, where she was using her frozen eggs, sperm donation, and IVF. And she did her egg retrieval at 34. Ebony admitted that she wasn't sure when or if she would use her eggs. The reason why I want to bring this up, because it's Ebony K. Williams, of course. You know, some folks voted that they want to hear a little bit of celebrity news, but also we often have these discussions about fathers not being present in the home. If I'm reading this and understanding this correctly, it looks as though she had a donor and a father would not be present. So she wanted to be a mother, but I guess the father didn't have the opportunity to be a participant. Just I won't say random, but a sperm donor of her choice. So let's open this up for discussion. What are you guys' thoughts about this and how this plays out into reality? And we already have a problem with fathers being in the house now. And then here she is. She has a donor, which so many people, and I can understand why if somebody does get a donor because they can't have a child, but fathers matter and fathers need to be in the home. So what are you guys' thoughts? Who wants to go ahead and kick it off?
I guess I'll go then if nobody wants to say nothing. So I think we all got a biological imperative, and that's to pass your DNA on to the next generation. I think that she really, really felt the need to do that because she's reaching the age where it was going to seem to be impossible, or she may not have had kids and she didn't have no options. I think that maybe she should have figured out a way to get a man before she decided to have a child, because that child is guaranteed not to have a father figure that's a biological father. She may find a stepdad down the line. I'm not sure, but I think this is a mistake. Like a lot of the kids I used to mentor, I could tell the ones who started out without a father, whose father left, and who just lost, and the ones who lost hope, they all had the same type of eyes. It's something that having the love of your parents provides you. It's almost like a covering to the world where there's still a gloss of innocence in children's eyes. I'm sure as teachers, mistaken to Shan, y'all probably know what I'm talking about when kids lose the innocence in their eyes. And it just seemed like they hopeless. Y'all ain't never seen no kids like that? Yes, no, maybe so.
But what are you saying the reason is for, though?
So it could be from trauma. It could be from not feeling loved. It could be from not having a parent there. It could be from being disappointed by the parent that you had. It could be from the parent leaving. It could be from feeling like you're missing out on what other people have. It's a lot of reasons that occurs. And to bring a child into this world with no father, it's almost like you're missing half the equation just out the gate before you factor in anything else. Now, if you should have plenty of resources that you can do maybe some of the things that are
You got to take Mike Marcus.
You say what?
You're sounding muffled.
The Amazon mic.
With your little hating ass. With your little hating ass. Patch your weave and sit back while I get it together.
No weave.
I know it ain't weave.
Amazon. Prime time.
You gotta go to that Black Beauty Supply. That way you can get the weave that. All right, but like I was saying, I know that's your hair. Shane. I know that's your hair. So, yeah, I just feel like it's not a good look for that child. My father had passed away when I was real young, and even though I wasn't left as a child, it left me needing something that I wasn't able to get the same way somebody with their father could get. And I think it's a disservice. Unless you grew up without a parent or parents, it's hard really to quantify how big of a thing that is, but it's actually huge.
Okay. Jasmine, I know you don't have any kids, but would you ever go through a process like this? Or would you rather go the traditional way?
I mean, I would prefer to go the traditional way, but sometimes that's just not in the cards for some people. Like some people just can't give birth naturally, like they have, uterine issues and such, and they have to go the in vitro way. And then some people are just not desirable partners or mates, so they just can't find someone that makes sense for them. And I'd rather not force a relationship just to have a child than to just go my whole life without having one. So if that was something that I know I wanted, well, she probably just like, yo, I want a child. I'm terrible at finding a man right now. I'm terrible at keeping a man. I'm very argumentative, and that's not a great trait for men that men like right now and stuff. So she probably just was struggling, and then versus her just saying, you know what, let me just find anyone to be with. How about I just take the journey of being a mom, which is something that she can totally do by herself. And that just because a dad won't physically be in the house don't mean there won't be like other male representatives in this child's life, like pastors, teachers, coaches, anyone. Like, no, there can be other men that are influential in this child's life other than a father figure.
All right.
So I kind of want to be optimistic about this, right? Jazz, you're on to something, and I definitely wanted to go that route. I don't think Ebony K. Williams is someone who should co-parent. I don't think that she's someone who should be in a long-term relationship. I think that some of us just aren't suitable for long-term relationships, and she's likely one of them, just from everything that I've seen, right? And it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world just because she's going to be by herself. If we looked at Barack Obama, if we looked at Jay-Z, LeBron James, they're all extremely successful, well-to-do men now, and they're all products of a single-parent home. So it's not impossible for you to make it. Statistics say that it's not as likely, sure, but let's just hope that she has the resources and takes the time to do whatever she can and does kind of try to put some type of positive role models in the child's life, although I think it'll be difficult for her to get along with men in general. I think just her disdain for men and how much men don't really like her is going to be a problem. So she might be on her own, but she was running out of time. So this was, I guess, her version of a buzzer beater. And she, being that she's not in a relationship with anyone, she's able to make this choice on her own. It's her right. Technology allows her to. Let her go ahead and do it. She wanted to, like you said, Marcus, she wanted to continue her legacy. She wanted to have that offspring. And that's the way that she chose to do it. And being that she's by herself, she didn't have to consult with anybody. So that's her prerogative if that's what she wants to do. Hopefully she is a good parent. At least we know she'll have the resources. I would imagine the child will be educated. There's going to be certain things that they're going to have to work harder at. Hopefully, I think she did say it was a girl, right? So they need fathers too. But at least I think she would probably do a better job if she had a little girl than if she had a son. In my opinion, just my opinion. But I want to be optimistic about it because, I mean, this is a reality for a lot of women. And this is probably going to become more common. I think it's only going to get easier. I think it's going to be cheaper once other countries start to offer this type of treatment. Then the price is going to drop substantially. And this might be the new normal pretty soon. A lot of us aren't really looking at that picture, but this might be the new normal because it's so bad. And I don't feel like we hit the bottom yet with the relationships. Men and women really don't like each other anymore in general. And we see it. We see it on the internet and we see it in real life. We see it when we walk past females and they just kind of walk away from you or try not to make eye contact when you just want to say good morning and you're not trying to holler at them, right? And we've seen men check out and just stay away from women or just not give their seat up anymore. We just really have a great disdain for each other. It is what it is. We don't like the opposite sex anymore. Generally, I'm not saying anybody individually here, but in general, we don't like each other as much. And this is probably going to be what the future looks like. People who want to have children will just either adopt or do what she did and just find other futuristic ways to have children on our own because we can't get along in relationships. I'll leave it there for now.
All right. Who was that came off the
Um,
mic? Go ahead. Nick.
oh. I was going to say I kind of agree with Jasmine in the fact that she just because she doesn't necessarily have a man doesn't mean that she doesn't have a village, right? And so I would assume that, like Trev was saying, the financial aspect isn't going to be an issue for her. So she's definitely going to be able to provide the resources for the child. But if she has the village, then she'll also have the support that the child would need, inclusive of male, role models and stuff that can be active in a child's life. I also agree with the fact that if that is something that she decided that she wanted but did not have a guy at the time, since technology provides the opportunity for women to have children, and that's something that she wanted, I don't think that it would have been in her interest to be like, well, you know what, I'm not going to have a child because I don't have a man, so I'm going to just give up the opportunity to have a child when she could. And at some point, I know for me, when I had my child, it leveled me out. I became a different person. So it may be that after she has this child, it may soften her up, and she may begin to attract other guys that would be willing to step up and be a stepdad to that child. That's it.
All right. Go ahead, Ruth.
It's hard not to be excited for somebody to have a child. I'm happy for her that she did it. She wasn't one of those people that, say I'm never having kids, or just because they're like temporarily mad at the opposite sex. So that's the positive. I don't think it's a good idea to raise a child by yourself. It's a totally different ball game when you raise a child by yourself. It is hard. Having a father there is everything, and when people, now that you know how men feel, like having your kid have their own dad is like, you cannot replace gold. So, and even if you have a step parent there, it will never be the same. They will say, that's your child, or if that person that person has to wholeheartedly want to be that child's father, to the point of adoption or whatever. But it's just it's not that great to have a kid by yourself. I'm sorry. It's not. I'm glad that she's able to do it. I wish she could have waited. She could have waited till 42, try to get a relationship going, because there's going to be a whole nother side of that kid you don't understand, where he gets it from. Like, now you don't even know some of these women are single moms, but they know the dad, and so they know, this is why you walk like this is why you talk like this is why you act like this. Your dad was like this when he was around. She don't even know that. She just have a sperm donor. So yeah, technology is great, but when we talk about human beings, like, we are not replaceable. So that's how I feel about it.
All right. Go ahead, Jazz.
I was just wondering, because I'm like, when we say about having a dad, like, are we just speaking on the sense of having a male chromosome to birth the child? Because I don't think it's like, she's having sperm to make the child and everything, but it's like, as far as having a dad, there's some people that know their dads and like have dads in their life, and the dads are terrible. Like, just, they're not raising right, they're not present, like, they're not doing things right. Like, I know my dad, but I don't never see him. So it's like, it's just, is it an effect of having you're saying she should have a father in the life to help raise that child, or a positive male person in the life to help be a part of that child's life? Because I don't think it's just about being a dad.
Jasmine, real quick question. Currently, right now, if your father, would you say that you would be better off had your father been a great father to you and been present in your life than you are now? Or would you say that you're completely okay with your situation? Hold on, let me rephrase the question. Would you say that if you had the opportunity for your father to be a present, loving, caring person in your life, that you would choose your current situation over that?
I would think because I was raised by my grandparents and they were married for 50 years that I don't think it would have been much of a difference if I had him or not. Because I didn't have my father in my life. So, but I feel like I came out a well-adjusted person because I was raised by two people. So I get the part of having, two positive role models in your life raising you and stuff like that. But we had a village, like Miss Tegan was saying, like we have other people in our lives to help mold me into the person I am. So I think she will be fine as long as she has good people around her.
Well, I
Not
think that's the kind of father we're referencing. A father that's gonna be there like your grandfather was. Not the kind of father that you're speaking of where he's a deadbeat. I don't think anybody on this panel is saying that it's necessary to have a deadbeat father in that child's life. I think we're referencing having a good father like many of the men on this panel are.
mm. And
So
it's great because I feel like most of the men on this panel are great men. There's not a lot of great men out there. That there's a lot of men that's just birthing kids and running around. I know a guy that got 6 kids right now. I don't think he know none of them.
And that's a problem too, right? I think we all speak against men being vacant. We talking about she could have been in a situation where just if she could have found a man. I do not believe it was impossible for her to find a man.
Good.
And one of the biggest flexes, I seen this post that said, my biggest flex to my children is this the man I chose to be your father. My biggest flex is this is the man that I chose to. When I see, she was saying when she see her husband with the kids or the father with the kids, she's proud of the decision she made to be the father. She might as well throw a Game Boy at him and be like, yeah, that's your father. I just went technology route. Yeah, you the PlayStation Pocket Papa.
But just because she had a sperm donor, it doesn't necessarily mean that she did not know who donated the sperm. Because there are people who do sperm donation and they actually know the person that donated the sperm. So, I mean, I don't know if that's her situation or not, but that is also an option as well.
Yeah, but it's more important for the child to know, probably. I mean, or probably not to know. Like, man, what difference does it make? I mean, it ain't like knowing him is a benefit unless you want to know his genetics to make sure he got 40-inch vertical. You probably gonna target somebody like LeBron or some shit. But for the most part, I mean, you got to ask yourself: is it better to have a deadbeat dad in your life, or just come from a needle? I mean, I don't even think the kids are classifying the kid. I mean, the father as ain't shit. I think the other parent is mostly doing that. It's not even the kid, really. The kid usually stays in the child's place and is, fine with his father, regardless of how the other parent look at him. So to say that it could be a bad father as some sort of justification to say, hey, look, women should go get injected. I mean, the kid has to make that determination because, it's parenting. But I get it. This just goes to show you that a lot of women ain't really religious, because I think if they were, then, I mean, they would keep it in the confines of procreating the spiritual way. But this is the state of the world, and this is what you're gonna get. A lot of women, when they talk about, oh, we don't need no man. Maybe this is something that kind of amplifies that.
I think it's just sadder for women because it's like you got that biological clock that's always ticking, and then it's like your eggs will dry up eventually. Your uterus you won't be able to have a healthy pregnancy at a certain amount of time. So it's like she could be in that space where I think she's close to she's 40, and she's like that's a hard age to have a child, and she probably felt like my time is running up. I ain't found no husband yet. Don't nobody want me. I want to be a mom though. Like she got one life. She want to be a mom. She don't want to go out not having a kid.
Yeah, I think if she could
I
take,
got
I
that
think if
part.
women who do it can take care of a child. I mean, if that's what they want to do, then they should do it. I mean, I know I can't really understand it. I'm not a woman, but I can just imagine being a woman and being fertile to have kids and just can't find a person to do it with. Kind of can be kind of depressing. So you probably want to, have a child before you can't have one. Period. So I can understand that part.
I can't help
I
but
remember.
think that her man was around the corner, you know, like she could have had the love of her life around the corner. But if you had a man in your life, he'd be like, wait, you know, but us, we always rushing into stuff. So it's like, even in that moment, if she had somebody, she could have still, you know, made it naturally. Because when that child is like 5 years old and looking for their father, like, what are you going to say? Like, how are you? 3 years old? Everybody got a dad, but that person, that kid does not have one. Like,
So
how do you
look,
explain that to a 3-year-old who your dad is?
so Ruth, to your point, it's so you ever heard like the Kids Bop songs or like Bebe Fin, Bebe Fin? They got like a million songs on there. That's where is Dada? Where is that? I can imagine a child watching that. When I hear that, my kids call me if I'm not even close enough to interact with them. I feel like they're seeing what the family should look like, and if they don't got no, if they're missing that link. Like I seen her do an interview where she was talking about what she needed to do to get a man, and she said, "I'm not gonna do that." She was like, "I know what I need to do, but I'm not gonna do that." So you would rather bring a child in without a man than do the things necessary to have a man for your child. Already, I don't think that's you in the right frame of reference to be thinking about how you got to prioritize children. But that's just me. That's
And
just
that's
me.
going to keep going on and on. When in the child's life, she's going to keep making decisions like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel bad for her because she never gonna get to say, "Go to your daddy."
so
She gonna have to program. She gonna have to program the kid. She gonna have to program the kid because the kid gonna be wondering why all the other kids in school got fathers and I don't. So she gonna have to program that kid as a child to accept that you don't. You ain't always supposed to have a kid, father. All kids don't have like the LGBT shit. No shade to anybody that's LGBT on the panel.
What?
You got to program. You're gonna have to program the kid to accept the logic that you're equal just like everybody else, and you're no less than anybody else who actually came from the person that's sitting on the couch, his ball sack, and maybe the ball sack you came from might be dead or some shit. His
Now,
sperm just in the freezer somewhere.
I don't think this is the right way to go about it. But look, we can't act like it's not common already. It's not going to be weird for the child to not have a father. That's the norm. When I was in school, that was a long time ago. I won't even date myself, but it was not that common. It was kind of weird for me to have a dad in my life. We normally didn't see the dads and stuff. And like right now, it's really bad, right? We see how prominent it is. Single motherhood is just outrageous right now. They're making songs about it now and everything. It's ridiculous. So
But you could text him though.
what?
But
The
you could
dad?
text your father, right?
Sometimes,
I'm saying,
sometimes, not always. Some of these dudes don't have nothing to do with it at all. Like at all.
you can't text the nigga that shot you through the tube. I mean, like,
Maybe. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But we're not sure if that's where her situation is. I'm getting the idea that she knows who it is. I don't think she just copped a random and just said, "All right, we're gonna shoot the club up." She probably has somebody in mind. I don't know if they're gonna be involved or not. That's up in the air.
Let me ask
I
y'all
would
a
hope
question.
so.
Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think it's better for her to have a one night stand with a father that exists that's not around, or just absolutely no chance of having a father?
what?
I'm saying she's gonna be a single parent. Is she in a better position by having no father whatsoever, or a father from a one night stand that exists that she can go find and he may deal with the child later on in the
No,
future?
for her, I think she would as an individual absolutely to not have any connection with the father or have some type of agreement prior to that he would have no existence in her life, because I think it's going to be detrimental to the child, just her involving a man just because of who she is, not in general, but for her in particular. Listen, I think she literally is a misandrist, so I don't think her involvement with men should be in existence at all, to be honest.
you probably want to answer that question as if you were the kid. Like I would rather have a father to go learn. Like, okay, where did my roots come from? Where's my heritage? Why do I act like this? What's my hair? Why is my eye color this way? Like, where do I get my tendencies from? Like, I would rather just still have somebody to point to and like, yeah, that's my dad. He might not have been in my life, but I know why I understand myself more because, you know, I done had a conversation with this man and figured out where a lot of these tendencies and traits come from. Versus not having that at all. So I would say the first option, I think you said, Marcus, just having a one night stand.
Sad that she's in that position where even you could argue that it's better for a one night stand. That's crazy.
So
She made a terrible decision.
Yeah, I think every child would want the opportunity to call someone his biological father, no matter what. I mean, just knowing that you're a bastard. I mean, I don't even know if you can call that a bastard. I mean, isn't that like the
I
definition?
think it's test tube baby. I think ain't that the term? Test tube baby.
I don't know. That's why I was asking. Go ahead, Sweeney. It look like we
That is the term.
Yeah, I think Sweeney been trying to speak, y'all. Go ahead, Sweeney.
Yeah, so I guess congratulations are in order. What I've gathered over the last couple of months is that having a father present or a two-parent household is only something that's a necessity for broke folks. Let me explain why. Just because as long as you put money in a situation, nobody gives a flying fuck if the father is there or not. Just about a couple months ago, we was having a discussion regarding Nick Cannon and how he's not going to be a stable presence in none of his kids' lives because he has to spread himself too thin. And the argument was, well, he got the money to take care of them. And what I've noticed on this side of the table is a bunch of women celebrating Eboni Williams and saying, hey, she got the bread to do it. She don't need a man there. She can build and create her own support system through the money that she can shell out to pay other people to take care of her kids. So, I mean, I find it interesting that this is only a necessity for broke folks.
Well, there's a difference. That's why.
I don't think, no, there is no difference.
I think there's a difference between Nick Cannon and Eboni K. Williams.
Well, a father not being there is a father not being there. There is no difference.
But we made a point. I think we pointed out the difference is being able to look to your father and be able to have somebody to call to.
Well, the thing is that a father not being there, still a father not being there, whether you can call to it or not.
So we're talking about whether he's being, also the argument is about the father being in the life or just having a father, period. Because I thought it was just about having a father, period. Or knowing you have a father, period.
My argument has always been having a father being in the child's life. I've never said having a dad, period, is the necessity for a child. It's not true.
I think the reason why we haven't argued whether a father is going to be in the life of the kid is we don't really have enough details on whether she's able to get a boyfriend by the time she's on her 40th week or whatever or some shit. We don't know enough to know that to be able to debunk or whatever or discount whether she's going to even have a man in her life to play father.
Well,
so I think the argument
she expressed that the father's not going to be there. It was in the same article that I think JR put up, is that she expressed that no, this is simply an in vitro test tube. Is this the People's article? I think so.
Yeah, it's People.
She never gave any indication in the past that she was actually hunting or looking for a man.
Right. So
I'm asking, have she ever?
No, she said that she was just trying to get pregnant via in vitro.
No, I get that instance or that interview or whatever. I'm saying, period. Have she ever indicated that she was actually humbled or she's actually looking for a man?
Not humble, but looking for a man. Look, her best chance to trap somebody would be right now because pregnant sex is different. It's much better. I ain't gonna
can't trap somebody who publicly just said, I'm having a baby via in vitro. That's not how that works. But no, I mean, the reason why I'm saying this though is that, like I said, as long as money is involved, and since we're talking about Eboni K. Williams, I keep it strictly regarding the women. I just read the Shade Room post regarding this, and all the women are celebrating and saying, "Oh, you go, girl!" And even the men that are responding saying, "Damn, that child ain't gonna have a father," they're getting 300 some odd comments regarding how that person is wrong for saying there's not going to be a father there. And a lot of the comments are saying, well, she has the money to take care of the child. She doesn't, that's not a necessity. She got enough money to be able to raise a child on her own. So at this point, congratulations are in order. As long as you got enough bread, a father ain't
So,
necessary.
so Sweeney,
Let
you
me ask
actually
you-
believe that? You believe that fathers are not necessary if you have enough resources?
No,
Or are
I'm
you
just
just making that argument just out of like satire or
no. It's
spite for the
basically
last argument?
I'm saying that they're not necessary based on the response, not on for my own personal views. Based off of the
Oh, okay.
response that she's getting, fathers apparently are not necessary unless money is involved. Based on the response that I got when we were talking about, even with the whole Nick Cannon situation, fathers being present there are not necessary as long as the money is there. You know what I mean?
So
as
you
long
actually believe very differently. You're just trolling now because of the arguments that other people have made, is what you're saying.
it's not necessarily trolling. It's making a statement based on an observation. I'm making a statement, not really trolling. It's an observation and me making a statement based off of the observation.
So when you mention Nick Cannon, are you going on record saying that Nick Cannon absolutely has no participation in the kid's life that he created?
No, when I made that argument, it was based off of the argument that was presented to me that as long as the money is there, he has enough money to be able to take care of his children. He doesn't have to be there. And even when we and on that show, we even segue into a billionaire. And even they were saying that, well, as long as that billionaire can provide, he doesn't have to be there. So that's the argument. That's what I'm basing it on.
But it's not saying the argument is not saying that he's not there sometimes.
No,
or when he can.
the argument that was made on his behalf was that he has the money to be able to take care of them. So him actually being there was not always necessary or even necessary. That was the argument that was being made.
Yeah, and I think that's, and it ain't even necessarily a billionaire. I mean, if you got a decent career and you running multiple business, you probably not gonna have the optimized work-life balance to be able to be in a kid's life. And I think that's also acceptable in the long run, especially when you got an inheritance to pass down when the kids grow up. But I don't. That's why I'm trying to draw the connection between justifying your stance on Eboni K. Williams using Nick Cannon. I get they both got money, but the argument that we try to build off of is just having a father, period, whether it's money involved or not.
Well, I think that's the problem, because just having a father there, but the father isn't there, is you might as well not have the father there. And so that's basically,
you had to answer from a child, like as a child. So if you was to put yourself in the shoes, if he ain't there, you're okay with if he ain't there or not able to be there or whatever. Let's say he's just incarcerated or some shit, or he done passed away. It don't even matter if you know where who your father is, his name, your granddad, the lineage, the heritage, the culture. That don't matter to you.
I think knowing who your father is a question that can be answered by Eboni K. Williams in that situation. She knows exactly who provided the sperm, so she can answer all those questions. So the argument that just having a person that you know fathered you, like that's still, he's not there.
Well, I'm not discounting her ability to answer the question on whether or not, hey, son, you do have a father. I'm talking about the sensitivity in it, the connection, and actually knowing yourself and being able to go do the discovery on your own and do the research and embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Not just saying,
well,
okay, so she had a father and this is that, and I'm cool. I'm not a kid anymore, but I can just imagine as a child, I'm still gonna feel some emptiness and want to figure out, like, damn, okay, I get it who you said he was, I get it where you say he's from, but I want to know more. I want something I can feel in my hands. You know what I'm saying?
Those are kind of things that tend to get answered if the father is actually there.
I do want to get some of the other ladies in there. Hey, D, you still there? Do want to get your take on it if you are. Any other ladies wanted to chime in on this discussion? Jasmine, Shan, go ahead, Shan.
So I agree with all of this. Like, one of the things that Trev said, can y'all hear me? Because it's my first time on this iPad. It's starting to become like the new norm, right? Nobody's getting married anymore. So it's not like it's taboo the way it used to be. Now, is it an ideal situation? Absolutely not. But we're acting like this doesn't happen every single day. Just like you guys are saying, Some people may have a daddy and don't even know what a man is. You feel me? People are adopted every single day. Nothing she's doing, these things have happened and the kids have turned out okay. Some of y'all may not know y'all daddy. We're not going to talk about that. But you turned out okay. So I think that, and then you add on the fact that she has resources. The kid is probably going to end up in a better situation than most. Okay. Now, is it an ideal situation if we're arguing that part? Absolutely not. Ideally, you want a mom and dad, but we know through foster care, through adoption, that's not always the situation. Now, I don't know. She may be in a relationship. We just know what she's telling us, right? It could be that she chose a man and she was like, "Hey, can I get your sperm? I won't say your name because I got nosy people who read." We don't know the situation for real. We just know about what she's telling us. But I think that the kid is going to be okay. I think there may be questions like, "Oh yeah, I don't have a dad," but we're assuming that she won't find a man. And I can tell you this, stepdads would probably rather there not be a man involved than there be a man involved, okay? They may be like, okay, at least I ain't got no baby daddy issues. I can come in, take over, So, again, I'm not saying that this is an ideal situation. I'm just saying I think the kid is going to be okay.
So, so if a father came in and he was like, "Hey, he got this woman pregnant," and he was like, "Well, I really don't want to be a father," and he was like, "That kid gonna be all right without me."
They do that all the time. What are you talking about?
And you're with, and what I'm questioning is, would you be like, "You absolutely right. He don't need you. Go ahead and do your thing, brother. That child don't need you. He gonna be A-okay."
So let me just say this. In a situation like that, no, he's not going to be okay. But I'm going to tell you this, the psychology behind a man. So what would you rather be in a situation where your daddy don't want you? Or you just
I'm questioning your logic. You can't say in one breath that a child will be okay without their father. And then when I question your logic by pushing the issue and saying, well, if a man was to come up and say, "Hey, look, I don't have to be there," that child will be just fine because there's been plenty of children that were raised without a father and they turned out okay. If he offered you that same argument because he didn't want to be a parent, you should be able, your logic should immediately lead you to saying, yeah, I would probably say the same thing. The kid might be okay.
I will.
Okay,
and the reason why I'm saying it is we see it every day. We have people who are very successful, including our old president, who was in the same situation. So what are we talking about here? So
man, look,
I want to be very clear. Ideally, we want both parents to be very involved. We want you to have a mom and a dad. Okay.
Even if you did have, even if you did have a stepfather in your life that was taking care of you, he had money and all this shit, and you had all the sneakers and shit all you want, whatever the hell you want. Even if you did have the stepfather, knowing that you had a real father, you still gonna want to know who the fuck that is. You still gonna want to know, even if that nigga can't take care of you. I've been in that situation before. I still want to know who my damn father was. This dude that was in the house was excellent.
Absolutely.
It don't matter.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta
know who my real father is, and the older I get, the more and more resentment is gonna grow against whoever's trying to keep me from knowing that information.
All right, what's going on?
It's different for men than it is for women.
Yeah, we're talking about that Eboni being pregnant. I'm pretty sure you was able to grab a little bit of context from everybody. So what are your thoughts about her being pregnant and not having a father in the picture, allegedly?
I mean, it comes to choices. I mean, as it's been said, we see it all today. But if you got the mindset to bring a kid in with the choice of like either I'm with somebody or I am without, I mean, you can look at this situation from many different ways. So in her, situation, if she's like, I have everything lined up, who's to say the kid will be, good or not? I mean, it's a hard call. I think, unfortunately, in today's society, just with even being sexual active, you either got people that got the mindset, hey, I'm going to do what I do, get pregnant, and go a kid, and then who's up to raise a child? But you have those to where you could plan a kid with somebody. It may not work out. I think with women, if you are in that position, you know who the father is. Don't deny whether he's going to be somebody that's present or not. And even with some of the women, unfortunately, they're not the best fit parents. But even as a child is seeking who the father is, even just their roots or background of anything, I feel like a child should never be denied that access. And even if your past, whatever you did with this person, you may not like them, or you just grown to hate them. So it's just really honestly just whatever position a person is in, and I guess really what they striving for. So is it favorable for a child to not have both parents in their life? It does like kind of sadden, but we see it. You can either learn from it and grow from it, strive to be whatever the best possible that this kid is going to be. I know children that have two parents in the household, very just tough environment, bad. You got those that are raised by a single parent, whether he's a mother or a father. But generally with women, sometimes they could be a little bit more emotional whole when it comes to these type of situations. If I'm mad at the father of my child, would I take it out on them? Me personally, no, I'm not, but I know a lot of women that do that. So but even with the just speaking of like Nick Cannon, so he has the wealth, he can do, so it's even like a monetary gain. Some of these women, it's like, oh, I don't have to work, I do X, Y, and Z, I know I have this. It's just being comfortable in a situation. So what is it they're getting out of it? Even I don't know exactly who y'all speaking of, but just from hearing of the words of everybody. So what is her, like role, like what is her, status quo and everything, to where she doesn't need that worry about child care and the kid get her and all of this stuff. It's less worry on like the back end, but it's just really like, it's like a wake-up call for society. Do we start getting to the point to where you don't see the men in the house? Do you not have that voice? And similar to what was said earlier, if a man is coming in without another man involved in the picture, it's more favorable for him to have a voice over that house. If you coming in dealing with a man that's already involved, so you mean to tell me I got to deal with this woman, and then also this man might have an issue with what I'm finna just even setting a standard. So even with the kid, and you're bringing in that stepfather, scenario, how willing are you to be able to be open to this person? Just like, I don't want to use the word grooming, but when it just comes to like just setting that foundation, teaching, like thinking about all of this stuff. So, but I mean, it could go into a lot of different ways. It's just really when it comes down to mentally, you at a point bringing the kid in, whether it's a one night stand, whether it's somebody that that financial responsibility is on, like, okay, well, I'm finna do this. So my personal situation, I was married, divorced, damn near 10 years, but I never put him on child support because I had the mindset before I had my children. If anything were to go south, he's never been denied his children. It just goes from there. So I can't speak from everybody, but for myself, I knew that I would be financially able to do whatever it is that my children needed to do. So I'll digress.
What's jacked up about this situation though is that, say Ebony K. Williams' child does grow up fucked up, in regards to how Darwin illustrated it, right? We would never know. Why? Because in situations typically like this, that child is not gonna go and look at their mother publicly and say, "Why the fuck did you have in vitro and never let me know who my father was?" Because that's not a thing. Now, had 50 Cent got her pregnant and he was an absent father, we would find out fairly quickly, because that kid would grow up and say, "My daddy wasn't shit and that nigga was 50 Cent." And we would tell 50 Cent, "You ain't shit because you wasn't there for your child." But nobody would ever, that child won't come out and tell Ebony K. Williams, "Mom, you were fucked up for raising me without a father," purposely. That would never, so we would actually never know how this kid would truly feel in this situation, knowing that their father isn't there.
And why is that? Why do kids never or almost never hold their mothers accountable.
That's the way, because mother's always right. What did Tupac say? Even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen. Even though she didn't tell him who his father was, she hid his father from him. He didn't find out who his father was until I think he was close to death, or if not, had already died or something like that, or the stepfather.
She told him a different man was the father. But look, I don't know if any of y'all listen to this, but like my father passed, and I told y'all it extremely affected me. Darwin told y'all he doesn't have his father, and it extremely affected him. If you turn on paternity court and see any of the kids on there who's searching for their father, it's an issue. Like I don't see how you could work around and rationalize that. That's
Marcus,
wild.
Marcus, you right, but and I don't want anyone to confuse my stance on this, right? Personally, may like this or not, I wish that Eboni K. Williams would never procreate at all, right? Optimally. However, when you're talking about involving another man on any capacity, I think it poses a deeper problem and more of a detriment to the child than her just doing this by herself for this particular individual case.
Why
It
is
is
that?
what it is. Because she is so disagreeable that I couldn't see anything but a complete toxic situation out of it, where
Yeah, but
it would be a detriment to her.
You never really
But y'all
witnessed
had
or had
said,
any examples of how she would
Maybe you
operate,
haven't.
right? Huh?
but y'all both brought up the fact that y'all dads wasn't there. I can speak from the other side of having a dad there that fucked me up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna. It is the. I don't want to say the toss of the coin, but sometimes I would say vast majority in the Black community, majority come from a single parent home. I'm not saying that there has not been an impact for the dad not being there or the mom not being there. There definitely is. But when we look at overall, we would say majority of those single parent households, the kids have been fine in terms of being, citizen, working, being productive citizens and stuff like that. We would say the majority of them have. So I know some people did not have the option or the choice. If they had the choice of being, with their partner, they would have. If it could have worked out, they would have. I think in the difference with this situation versus the other situations is like y'all said, she went in with a decision, knowing that the father, that she was going to be the primary caretaker of that child. So I think the way that she raises her child, I would assume, this is assuming, that is a totally different conversation that you're going to have with a child, just like a child who was adopted, things like that they know the situation, as opposed to knowing that you have a father and the father is choosing not to be there versus the other situation. I don't know which one would be worse. Knowing that you have a dad that is choosing not to be present at all, or knowing that you came from a situation that this person wanted you and created you out of a choice. So I don't know. That's my toss up between those two.
I mean, I don't have really a toss up. I think whenever if you try to look at it from what your own experience is, how the father treated you, and try to compare that to having a father, period, on a general basis, and that's just a case sensitive situation that you really can't apply to all people who would
what I was
have a
saying,
father.
Marcus was saying that his dad, died and it impacted him. And I think your dad wasn't necessarily present and it impacted you. What I'm saying, it all depends on the quality of dad you had, like kind of what Sweeney was talking about earlier, just saying that you have a
Yeah, I
father.
get that. And I was saying that
No relationship.
my
There
example
is no
was that
relationship, anything like that,
right, my example
or
was that
having a dad
it
there and
didn't.
is not a good dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said if you try to make your stance on whether the dad is good or bad, to make a case on whether it's any good having a dad, period, or knowing that. And that's a case by case situation where people have been abused and beat or something like that on them. When you start moving the goalpost to there, then it's no way to look at it on a general scale. That's a personal scale, individual scale. But we're just talking about having a dad, period. I mean, you can look at that on a general scale because most people, everybody comes from nutsacks. So just knowing who the dad is, not necessarily, how he treated you, that's a whole nother different story then. So I think the first layer of just knowing that you have a dad and know who he is and knowing your lineage and all that stuff, I think that holds some importance in the person's life before you even get to the, okay, now how does he treat me? You get what I'm saying? Because he could be some shit. But I would even argue that even if he is some shit, just knowing that you had a dad, that's justifiable. Even if he's broke or he's handicapped or some shit. Like,
Mistaken, do you really think?
and I know who he is. He ain't shit, but I got one, and I know who the hell he is. I know who my grandmother is. I know the story. I know my history. You know what I mean? It's almost like a slave coming into America from fucking shit, not knowing. I mean, there's a reason why they took the last names. There's a reason why they cut off their languages. They didn't want them to trace nothing back. And I think a kid growing up like that, not knowing where the fuck he came from, is similar to a slave coming over here not knowing where the fuck he came from.
Mistaken, do you really think it's a 50-50 toss-up on whether a father would be good or not?
No, I meant in terms of outcome. So we're talking about, like, if I look at the majority of Black households came from a single-led household, particularly moms for the most part. Majority of the Black population who came from single-led households are productive citizens, although media have you thinking that most of them are in jail, most of them are on the street or whatever, just the way that media portrays that, but that's not true. So what I'm saying is, I think that her being a mom, if I lean on the side of stats, the child should grow up to be a pretty okay kid that is going to be a productive citizen and not end up in jail. You know what I'm saying? So that was more so what I was getting at when I was saying is kind of like a toss up. But
do you think them being born to single parent households is indicative that the father isn't there though? Or is it just that person just so happened to not be married when they
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I would have to specifically look for stats, because when the stats say single led, it doesn't necessarily say whether they're co-parenting or the father's not involved at all or anything like that. So that I really wouldn't know. So I can't really speak to that aspect of it.
I saw it.
I think there's a study that was done or a survey that was done regarding that. I'm gonna have to find out where it's at, mistaken, but I'll send it to you. But I think it kind of does address that, whether they were married or two-parent, co-parent, or the father wasn't there at all. There was a study that was done on that.
If you're co-parenting, it's a better chance than just not having a father at all. It's a better odds.
All right, we're going to go ahead and transition. We got to just tune in. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Let's make sure we hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to get to these super chats. KP, Kenneth, $2 says, Trev, talk spicy. Ebony is part of the problem. Big Bucks, AP accountability partner, 50 Bones said, beautiful as ever, Jasmine. Nice to meet you, D. Darren, my contradictory brother. Of course, Ruth, my next ex-wife. What's going on, y'all? Stopping by to show some love to the panel network, and of course, the guru, Mastermind JR. Salute. Thank you, sir. Big Bucks again. Let me go ahead and hit this down for him, man. Hello, beautiful people. My brothers Marcus, Trev, Sweeney, my lovely sister Shan, and Mistaken. KP, $2 said this is a lesson to all y'all dating women. KP again says Ebony got the outcome we expected in vitro. JT says the question is, why do all of the black men on her level not want her? Why is that?
They're in and out.
So that
She told us why.
They got better options.
She told us. She said that in order for her to get a man, the way she would have to act, she's not willing to do.
Yeah, she straight up told us that.
KP
views on this.
KP $2 says Shan Hush and go bake a pie.
You didn't pay more than $2 for that.
$5 says Sweeney, your argument falls flat because Nick didn't freeze his nuts. His kids know who their daddy is, and he plays a part in their lives. KP again, $5 says Ebony has proven KS right. All that bus driver talk, and now look. Her BS standards got her driving this bus alone.
Okay, that was a bar.
$2 says, come on, mistaken. What do the stats say? I think everybody has contributed to the
AP is right. Yo.
We got anything else? Mona, I'm shooting my shot. What up?
I don't think we can be. I don't think we should be surprised as men that women. I think Sweeney said a lot of people's in the comments. A lot of women in there praising. I don't think we should be surprised that. Women can typically go their entire lives without telling you that the kid ain't even yours, or even letting the kid know who his real father is. So I don't think we should be like holding them to the standard of having some type of moral about whether these kids should have parents or not. I think we're starting to see innately women really don't give a damn about that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and transition. I got you, Ruth. We got to go ahead and get off this so we get to these other topics. My apologies. All right, Shan Monet has sent me this. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. I broke it up into. I ain't break it up, but we're gonna play it in two different parts. And this lady right here, I have never seen her before, but Shan is very familiar with her content.
Well, this one thing.
Just one. You're talking about Black America culture is dying. I'm going to play a little bit of this clip and then we'll go ahead and talk and I'll play the rest.
Here is my little 2 cents that nobody asked for. I am sick of seeing Black Americans in the media, on social media, in the news, doing crime, walking around next to naked, the women, the men perpetuating gang violence, substance abuse. The absolute worst of our community is oversaturating the media, even though they make up a small percentage of all of Black Americans. The decay of our morality within Black communities has been slowly declining over the past 20 years, and no one is talking about it, no one is saying anything about it or trying to address it. And if you do, you are often told that you're policing Black bodies. If you say Black women, stop getting on the internet and in the media, twerking, walking around with little clothes on. People tell you that you're policing bodies, policing Black bodies, or it's respectability politics. If you are Black and you speak your piece on what we're seeing in the media, if you don't like seeing the low morality that is often portrayed about the Black community in the media, from the trap music to the Black women twerking in music videos and all over social media, the Sukihanas and the Sexy Reds of the world. If you are Black and you take issue with it and you talk about it, you are usually called bourgeois, sadiddy, uppity, it's respectability politics, you're policing Black bodies and the like. And it's like, no, I'm Black too. And as such, this being my ethnic culture as well, I have a right to have something to say about what I'm seeing going on. Your average Black American is a middle class, working class, blue collar Jane and Joe. The ghetto subculture, Black ghetto subculture that we see often portrayed and over inundated and oversaturating the media Those Black Americans make up a tiny, tiny percentage of Black Americans as a whole. But somehow they're in the media, overcompensating in the media, oversaturating the media. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say that I'm sick of seeing it, that it's gross, that it is destroying what Black culture actually is. It's co-opting Black culture as a whole and making it seem as though all of Black culture is ghetto subculture. I'm not the only Black American who takes issue with it. Because like I said, majority of Black America is middle class, not in the ghettos, not out here perpetuating gang violence, promiscuity, and everything else. And I don't care if you claim it's respectability politics. I guess so be it. Because this is gross. It's getting really gross out here how blatantly disrespectful and low class we're acting on social media and in the media, on the internet, on TV. And you can claim that this is someone else's set of moral standards, but no, it isn't. It isn't. Look at Black America in the 50s, in the 60s. Our moral standards back then, drastically different from what we have today, or what we're convincing ourselves is a moral standard today. Every racial group on the face of the planet has their own ghetto subculture within their respective racial and ethnic groups. This is the case for everybody, everywhere. White people, Asian people, Mexican people, you name it. The difference is that those racial groups and those ethnic groups do not allow their ghetto subculture to co-opt the entire culture as a whole and to represent the entire culture as a whole. They don't allow it. Everybody else within that respective ethnic group or cultural group or racial group has a right to say how they want to see themselves represented in the media, what they want to see and what they don't want to see, who gets to speak for them and who does not.
All right. First part of it, Black American culture is dying. Who's eager to come off the mic and go ahead and
the homegirl was so long-winded, right? Now, what does she expect? This is how the algorithm works. We can stop watching it, but it's hard not to share it, right? You see something polarizing, you share it. Maybe we shouldn't, but I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to the bottom out. Like we're very close to just bottoming out. I think that we're almost to the point where it can't really get, pause. Okay. I don't think it could get much worse than it is right now. It's starting to get boring to me. Maybe not everyone, but I'm starting to become numb to some of the stuff. I've seen so much shocking things that I'm no longer really shocked anymore. Nothing amazes me. Nothing surprises me. I think at some point it's just going to get boring, right? Surely we don't have to give them the fuel and put crazy stuff on.
Right?
But, huh?
So you used to get horny at your Explore page. Timeline to make you horny. They don't even make you horny no more.
It's bad, and but I think we're getting close to the bottom. It's because it's really starting to get boring to me. I'm sure it's starting to get boring, less shocking, maybe seems less polarizing to you right now. At some point, this is just going to be dead. I really think so, because I don't feel like it can get much worse legally, right? And social media, the platforms are absolutely promoting it. They know it sucks, because if you put something that's inappropriate, they catch it immediately, ban you for 90 days or whatever. They know every single thing. The AI that they have right now knows every single word that you say. They know if there's a fight happening. They know if there's an adult scene happening. They know every single thing that's going on, and they push it to people who are going to watch it. And even when you're about to post, they show just me doing my thing. I do reels as a content creator, right? Like most of us do. You know what they show me? They show me fights and stuff. And they say, these are what your followers are watching. They are literally encouraging me to post fights and different things online. This is how bad it's gotten right now. They are promoting for me to post fights so other people could watch more fights and I can continue to perpetuate the issue. So unless there's some type of legislation to stop it, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait for it to bottom out, man. There's not, pause again. There's nothing we can really do about it. It's just like that. And as long as we are rewarded for it, and we now have this new vice, this new drug, this attention drug, and then they had the nerve to monetize it, right? For you doing a bunch of nonsense, things that are polarizing, things that are just would 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago would have seemed vile and just inappropriate. They're the norm, and they're what's expected to get the eyes onto your channel or onto your feed, whatever. That's just what they expect right now. So I don't really see any end in the immediate future, but I think if we just wait, it's going to go away, right? The only thing I would tell you to do is try to provide your children with as much context as possible, because this is what they're going to witness. This is what they're going to see. It is what it is. By design, they've tried to make us look like crap for the longest. That's just what it is. And they do a damn good job at it. And we do a damn good job helping them do that. So we could all just stop. I don't see it happening. The generation behind us is going to keep it going, man, because that's what's rewarded. That's how you get the eyes on it. That's how you get the hits, the likes, the comments, the engagement. That's what keeps your channel going. So I don't think that this attention-starved generations that are behind us are going to stop in the near future at all. I think this is what we could look forward to. Protect your children. Just provide them with context, because I know for a fact that this is what my children witness when they go up and down the timeline. It's not what they're looking for, but it's what is force-fed to them. But at least I could provide the context and have the open dialogue with them to say, look, this is messed up. This isn't how we get down. Just understand that people are doing this for attention. Understand that people are doing this for clicks. And this isn't how real life goes. I've never operated like that. Your mother has never operated like that. And you're not going to operate like that. But this exists. This is what you're going to face in society, and stay far from it if you want to be a human who actually contributes to society in a positive way.
Black American culture is most definitely far from dead. It's not dying at all. It's evolving. It's changing. And it's changing in a way that a lot of people don't accept it. It's just getting nasty. The people who want it to stay the same, are kind of fed up. And they're just saying it's dying. It's not dying. It's not appealing as much as you would think. A lot of people the people that's making it move don't really give a damn about nobody's opinion. I mean, it's the freedom that a lot of people that's in it have been longing for. And now they get to walk around with the strings up their ass and bend over and act like they dropped their pocketbook. I mean, that's what we got to deal with. And you see it all on the video. It's not dying at all. It's just changing, and you just got to deal with it. You got to filter it out as much as you can. I think it's going to get worse. I think this is just a crumb of what we can expect the next 20, 30 years. We might just step out without wearing clothes, period. Hell. I mean, well, right? I mean, Marcus, didn't you say one time you went to the club? They ain't had nothing on in that motherfucker. Hold on, that was a club where you were allowed to be nude, I think.
What?
What club you be going to, Marcus?
He just made.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
There's women there?
No, Teddy. What are we doing? Whoa.
Just said that roof. So I see. I'm gonna have to send some shots tonight. I'm in the
This
shot.
is payback.
Hey, Marcus, hold on, Marcus.
Marcus, shoot the crosshairs.
Out of everybody on this panel, you are most likely to find yourself in a naked bar situation.
Yeah, but it's gonna be women there. It would have been women.
I ain't saying that it was gonna be a bunch of men. I just say a naked bar. I in a whole.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's fair. But it'll be the ratio of women and men will be more women than men.
You should be thanking me for clearing that up. You should
Hopefully
be for clearing that up. Because I know somebody was thinking that in the audience.
Nigga, no.
I don't know. If you're in Mississippi, there's a lot of hard legs at them clubs.
I don't think I've ever. I think it's always safe to assume it's gonna be more naked women than more naked dudes in the club. I think that's a safe assumption.
All right, let me go ahead and get Jasmine.
I heard that it was like it's gonna be a bunch of naked niggas around there.
All right, let me go get Jasmine in there. Black America culture is dying. What are your thoughts about the video?
I definitely don't think it's dying. I definitely feel like it's, like you said, evolving. It's always going to be present. Because I feel like we almost kind of the only people that really have a culture. I mean, not to say it like that, but just like when it comes to the things we see on social media, we just see so many people copying us. Like when it comes to like the dance, the trends, the fashion, like everything. It's like everything is coming from Black culture. It's what it's even like commercials and marketing employees are now trying to pander to just the Black culture in general. So I definitely don't think it's dying. If anything, they're trying to find more ways to make it even more in our face, and that's probably why they're pushing some of these really trash propagandas like Sexy Red, or the really over sexualized things and stuff like that. But sexualized imagery and all that stuff exists in every aspect, every culture, every race, everywhere. Like, and I don't think it was even that modest back in the day. Like, I feel like they had way more kids back in the day than they do now. Like, they was just out there just having sex all the time, and I don't know, at the juke joint. I feel like my
These are the same man, though.
like
These are the same
13,
man.
not all the time. I don't know. People had like 13, 14 kids, and now it's just like, okay, 1 or 2 kids. And more. They may be promiscuous, but that don't mean they wasn't promiscuous back then. It just, we didn't have social media to put it out there. They didn't have internet. So how we know what they wasn't doing?
I think our culture. I think Jasmine. I think pretty much everybody right. The way our culture is situated, it's evolving. The way Darwin said, part of that is trying to differentiate. Right. Being in America, our culture is. If we create a trend, once other people adapt to it, then we'll create something new to delineate ourselves from the previous group. And in doing so, it gets appropriated and then absorbed as if it's just American culture, when no, this was Black culture. You guys started to do it, so we can't claim it as our own. We don't have a real physical means of drawing a fence to keep other people out of it. Then they do it. The thing that's going to end up backfiring, though, is like with gangster rap or the whole subgenre of ratchet music. I've seen more artists from other communities adopting that we're inevitably going to try and create something new to delineate ourselves. And then that group of people will be left with the results of what that subculture or ratchet, be it a drug epidemic, be it a gang violence epidemic, be all the things that we want to rid ourselves of. When people emulate them in order to, especially specifically in gangster rap and that type of genre, in order to emulate that, you have to be part of that life to truly make music from that sphere. I've seen more white gangster rappers ever in my life. You will hear some of it in the music. You can't even tell by the voice now. The voices is the inflections, the baritones, all of that stuff. It's an appropriation of what essentially was a genre of blackness that was to delineate, but now they're taking that and they gonna have to take the problems that come along with that. I think it's cyclical, because I think there's gonna come a point where there's really nothing really new that we could do to delineate ourselves, and we'll come back around to being the most educated, the most morally upright. Like, the further people come towards trying to appropriate it, the further we walk away. We went as far as changing the way words are said. Y'all call it good, all right, that's bad to us. Bad is good to us. Y'all like jazz, all right, we don't like jazz no more. We like rock and roll. Y'all like rock and roll, we don't like rock and roll no more. We like rap. Y'all like rap, okay, we gonna move to. That's the stage we in. If we could, hopefully, when we figure out how to draw a fence around it, it's gonna be when we're in our most positive state. When it's like, all right, when it means Black excellence means everybody got a 4.0, nobody get lower than a 3.8 GPA. Black excellence means everybody in our whole lineage graduates college or has their own business, and then we could draw a fence around maintaining that. So, yeah, like somebody says.
Go ahead, Marcus. Finish up.
Like, people love to make the Black Americans don't have a culture while emulating the argument. That shit is hilarious to me. Like, bro, your whole style, the way you dress, the way you speak, the music, the way you try and pretend when you're around women, it's an emulation of Black American man. But y'all say we don't got no culture. That shit crazy.
All right, let me play a little bit more of the video, and we'll go ahead and see.
Except for when you're a Black American and you have something to say about the way that you see Black Americans being portrayed in the media, and you have a critique for your peers. You can't do it because it's respectability politics if you attempt to do it. Or you're judging your peers by a set of moral standards that somebody else created, which is a farce. From the Reconstruction era down through the 60s, Black Americans had their own set of moral standards and social protocols that we adhered to. Ask your grannies, ask your great grannies, they'll tell you. I have had just about enough of seeing Black culture being drugged through the muck by other Black Americans who are perverting it and turning Black culture, something that is beautiful, into something perverse. Showing their ass on the internet all the time. The men are constantly rapping and talking about gang violence. Our children are uneducated and stupid. We've created a cultural standard of promiscuity and single motherhood. And when a Black American goes to critique and judge our peers, our fellow Black Americans, and critique the condition of our neighborhoods today, they're shut down. That's respectability politics. You're policing Black Americans. If that's what it is, so be it. So be it. It needs to be said. And in order for us to attempt to escape accountability or responsibility on our own part, we claim that the conditions that we see in Black communities is being caused by somebody else. It's not our own fault. It's white people and it's structural racism or something or another. It's everybody else's fault except for our own. Give me a break. It's pitiful. It's pitiful that we refuse to take accountability for the things that we see going on in our communities. And sure, we can acknowledge that structural racism and the history of slavery in this country and discrimination and Jim Crow and Black codes and all of that has played a part in the conditions and some of the conditions that we see in Black communities. But we also have to be responsible for the ways in which Black Americans create their own conditions and contribute to the degenerative effects that we see going on in our communities. Black Americans who don't want to hear that immediately run to innocence. They rush to innocence. They claim that it's respectability politics to call out these issues in our community. They claim that it's policing Black bodies to call out the low morality and the moral decay in our community. Call it whatever you want. You're not going to get me to shut up about it. I'm Black. This is my culture too. I have a right to talk about and critique what is happening in my culture and have something to say about it. That's all.
So y'all think I'm starting to think Black culture or Black American culture is strongly connected to poverty. And when you level up and you become more wealthier, more successful, you actually change what you associate with, where you live at and shit like that. And people surround. It just seems like it's stuck in that level. Like I don't know how y'all feel about it, but every time somebody get rich or famous or level up or whatever, they always move away from the culture or something. Or they don't even. You have to. There's this saying that you got to say, "Remember where you came from," type shit. So I'm just trying to put two and together. It's when they say, "Remember where you came from," mean like remember your culture or just remember your mama and dad. It just seems like that. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that's what I'm starting to see.
Bruce,
you got it. You go ahead.
Yeah, Bruce, you're a pretty, upstanding brother, right? You've done all right for yourself, right? Do you have a Spotify?
No.
Apple Music?
Yeah.
Do they tell you who your top artists are that you listen to?
Probably. I haven't checked that. I'll just say yeah.
If you went to your Spotify, if you went to your Apple Music right now, you told us who you listen to right now, who would it be? Like, what would it say? And I'll let you, because I know Marcus has something else, so I know you got to go and look real quick. So I'll let Marcus go ahead and jump in. You come back to me on that one.
Let's make sure that we're getting everybody else in too that haven't spoke. Some folks don't speak up unless called on, so let's make sure we're sharing that mic too. Everybody good, Shan? Mistaken? Ruth?
I don't mind. God bless my words, please. I think this is trash. I think that we have allowed ourselves to. It's one thing to why does bad have to be so good in our eyes? Like everything that's not right, we feel like we can put it on a pedestal. What is right about showing your vagina to people? Like there's no way to make that okay. Like why do we think that is okay? Or it's very disgusting. Okay, like I know there are levels to this, but it's gotten to the point where it's just absolutely ridiculous. What's the cover with the girl laying down like doggy style and she didn't have any clothes on? Whose cover is that? I've
Snoop
seen
Dogg.
it. Like it's just no chill. It's like it just keeps going. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it just voila, there it is. You know, I don't understand why. What is it about us that we're attracted to these things? I think it's a setup. It is a setup. We are physically the strongest. You know, we are trendsetters, and we don't even use our power to our advantage. We use it to degrade ourselves. Like, make it make sense. I'm not understanding the logic behind that. Why that is, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just confused. I've never been the one. I don't feed into the music. I don't even know who these people are, in all honesty. I don't listen to it. I don't buy it. It's not on my iTunes. I couldn't tell you one person from another person, right? Because that is how strong I am against it. And I just don't understand what y'all see in it. I don't.
So I wanted to answer Darwin's question. So, oh,
Yeah, but it's Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Jay-Z number 2, and Tim's is number 3.
Who the hell is Tim's?
Tim's, TMS.
what you got to
I don't even know these people.
I bullshit you now. I have no idea who any of those people are.
Tim's is like Neo Soul Pop. Like,
Y'all don't know who Pete Rock is?
You don't know who Pete Rock is?
That's a little beyond my. That's probably a little beyond my generation, man.
Is it old school? Like,
I
yeah,
know.
I'm a Sade Anita Baker girl.
All right, y'all. We're trying to get in there so she can.
53 years old. I don't know who that man is.
The answer.
Go ahead, Ruth.
Yeah, I stopped listening 20 years ago. To answer your question, why they think it's okay to show their vagina, Shan, because a lot of us have low self-esteem, and we feel like our body is the best. That's the best thing we got going. So they're showing it. I don't agree with it, but we got to become more. We got to evolve. And I think that it went from the negative images being on TV, it kind of slid over to social media, and now it's personalized, so it's getting stronger. So it's probably just going to keep getting worse. I don't see it getting any better, but I feel like as I listen, it's like we have become the poster child for the downward spiral. Like yeah, everybody want to be like us, but we're going on a downward spiral. They're following us, but we're the ones in front. Even though this is not something we thought of, this is what's put in front of us, and we're gonna go with whatever we see. And they know that. They know what images to put out there. They've been doing this for a very long time. They know how to brainwash us. So it's not all us, but we have our own brains and our own minds. Like, sometimes when you at work and you in your own life, you don't have to log on to social media. When you find yourself, your whole world is in. I know every viral video out there. We too wrapped up into this stuff. Like, you have your own life. So in our personal lives, how we solve this problem is by leveling up. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say leveling up. I don't want to say that. But becoming better people, right? And making that money, because kids will follow the negativity, but they also follow people with money. So now you know that they want to see you have money. They want to see you successful. Then they're going to hear what you have to say. So that's all we can do in the meantime is continue to grow our businesses, continue to grow our families, and our kids that, we want to have families and build families. They can be role models for other kids, because that's the only thing we can do is beat it with positivity. We cannot stop what people are trying to do, all the traps they have set up for us. Eventually, if we can outnumber them, and it's like, most Black people, if we can beat them on the charts, then we can beat them on the media, right? Because if we're top, if we're making the most money and we have the most together families, then it's going to be like we flip the image right underneath their fingers. But other than that, they're always going to put the lowest of us on the top. And there's nothing we can do about that, but we can build ourselves up and enhance ourselves for the years of, that we were behind.
So Ruth, I'm glad you brought some numbers up and stuff. Like you're talking about beating on the charts. So the rate of poverty is on a decline amongst Black people. The rate of incarceration since the early 90s is down like 40%. The rate of teenage pregnancy is down amongst Black people. So we could talk about social media now. It looks worse, but in most metrics where Black people can actually improve, we actually are improving as a society, maybe slowly but surely, but we're on the up versus being on the decline. So we have to take that into consideration. So although it may look a lot worse when you watch social media and the algorithm knows what to feed you, and guess what? If you don't pay attention to it, you're not going to see shit like that. My Twitter feed looks very different from your Twitter feed versus everybody on this whole panel. We all get different feeds in our timeline, and they show you things that they know you will watch. They have you down to a science. That's why these advertisements come up, and it's specific to some shit you already looked at, probably already bought and all that. They know everything about you. There's too much. They're listening to you. When you when you say yes to all of these apps and stuff, they're listening to what you're saying. They know exactly what you're interested in. They know you they know anything. Like, it's crazy how much information they have on you. They're only going to feed you what you're going to watch. If you don't watch that type of stuff, if you're not entertained by it, you won't see it. And your reality will look very different from mine. Social media is going to paint a very different picture of us. So even as we begin to excel and turn the corner, it's still going to look like we're on the decline. When they bombard you with sexy red material or Cardi B or any other degenerate that just wants to doom us, right, and bring us down into the gutter, they're going to show you those, and that's what's going to be hot, and that's what's going to be shocking. They're going to keep showing that. Go ahead.
Should we have a campaign? Just turn it off. The turn it off. Why can't we run our own campaign? They run the stuff. We need to run our own things and come up with our own agendas, because it's like we're not fighting. It's like they keep putting out stuff, but we're not fighting them back at all. Turn it off. If you turn off Sexy Red, I could have never imagined the I can't even say the words of the song. Like, that's all I know. But like, just turn it off. And when we turn it off, you're voting. And even if the kids are not up to it, the parents can start doing it, and eventually they'll start doing the same thing. But if you hear your mother and your father rapping those lyrics, you're gonna rap them too.
No, nobody listens. I will say this though: nobody listens to Sexy Red though. Not for real. Nobody listens to Sukihana for real, because and how I know this is because it would manifest itself in their record sales, their streams, as well as their numbers when it comes to selling concert tickets, sales.
Let's keep letting them lose money and they'll stop.
Nobody's actually, like, if you ever notice, the reason why they stay relevant is because they have to get on. There's a reason why they have to jump in front of the camera and do wild shit to get attention, because they need to stay relevant on social media. But in reality, nobody's actually listening to them.
Yeah, but when you got a person like Drake throwing a feature on with Sexy Red on the mixtape, it's going to bring those hits, and it's going to get those views. So that's the problem. I think they get enough camera time, even if it's just through the dumbass videos and shit like that. You can't avoid them. And a lot of these people are plants, in my opinion. They are there just to keep us where we are, right? Like a lot of these people don't have any business, because they don't necessarily have the best music. However, the best producers, they have access to them. And that right there, and I don't know how much of y'all are familiar with an earworm and what an earworm is designed to do. It's designed to make a very simple, stupid ass hook that you can remember. If you remember, you repeat it. If you like it and you listen to it, and then when you have this shit in rotation 30 times a day, like Busta Rhymes said, like, now you're singing it. Now it's just part of you. You appreciate it differently. So at any point, these people have already crafted this perfectly by design for us to be able to listen to these things and relate to it differently. It's going to resonate with you differently just because of the hooks. Most of these rappers are straight trash, but when you come up with these very, I guess, elementary hooks, and you have it behind some nice sounding bass, and it's mixed well, it's going to hit different. And the kids can't stop it. Boycott what?
Boycott rap for a minute.
For what?
We can't move the needle. It starts with the children, because we don't have the time. Do you know the usage rate of a teenager, somebody from like 16 to 25 versus most of us on the panel? We can't move the needle.
What if they said that? And you know what? It's not enough of us that's going to boycott this bus. Why not? We never tried it. Maybe they'll just start doing it the way we want to what we want to hear versus what we don't want to hear.
You trying to get us to do something unified and be on the same thinking. We can't even sleep in the same damn bed.
We are under the assumption that the type of music that we hear, we don't want to hear. We're under that assumption.
Even if you like it, though, is my point.
But you're asking somebody that to not listen to something that they like. The reason why this music is getting pushed is because that's what we like. Now, I would argue that this is one of the main problems with it is that the things that are positive don't get enough attention. So to that lady's point, that the reason why you constantly see the negative aspects of our culture being portrayed in media is because the positive aspects don't get enough attention. It's the leading. Every culture has negative aspects of their culture that gets portrayed on television. It happens across the board. The problem is it's not leading. And if you ever noticed in our culture, Shade Room got 25 million followers right now. You think most of the content that they put on there is positive content regarding black folks? It's bullshit.
But that's why we
But if
gotta
you-
have unity. If we decide to put our minds to something, and we could definitely do it. But can I say something to what Trev said earlier? You said something about we're fine or whatever on the like we're doing better. But like I used to be like, well, I was a B student and I learned how to become an A student. It's when I became detail oriented and I started saying, you know what, instead of me getting an 89, I'll get a 91, I'll get a 95, and I kept increasing. I focused on, even though we're doing good, we could do excellent. You can raise a child by yourself as a woman, but you as a parent, you're supposed to put your child in the best position possible. So it would be you're giving your child excellent chances when you have their father. So we got to stop thinking of I'm fine, I'm okay, and come up to like, good, great, and excellent.
I don't want you to get that point misconstrued. My point in saying that we are doing better than what social media or society in general is projecting, that's different. That's all I'm saying. Like, so even though we are actually better as a people and we're on it, and I'm not saying I'm satisfied with the progress, I push for human improvement. That's my new motto now, is human improvement. So I'm constantly working. I'm on an endless pursuit of perfection, right? I try to bring people with me. So that's the motive. But what I'm saying is that how we are depicted is not accurate. And I think it's an important note to make.
I agree, but just like that's your motto, we the best, like we can be the best. Like if we start putting that in our minds, like, look, we the best out there, let's just prove it. I think that once we start changing our language and our mindset, we will actually produce those results.
Even if we did become unified on the same thing, we wouldn't start with music. We would start with something in the household. Something different like politics or some shit like that. We wouldn't even really. The music is going to change itself once we get our shit together in the household. What we allow our kids to, or what our kids become privy to, is going to change.
Go ahead, Miss Jasmine. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Oh,
I
feel like why can't we ever just love all black people? Just like, because we're all just so different. Like we got some ratchet ones, we got some highly educated ones, we got some right in the middle, a little bit of both. Because it's like I listen to optimistic like Sounds of Blackness every day. It's a beautiful song. But then some days when I'm cleaning, I want to hear bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. Like Sexy Red, because it's like it's a cleaning song and it's like it just makes you move a little faster. I don't know, but it's just like, because I know I got ratchet people in my family too that are the funniest people at the cookout. I love them to death. But then there's some super highly educated, went to Princeton, Harvard people in the family that's just super pent up, get their business right and stuff. So it's like you gotta love all aspects. But that's what makes us so cool and so fun and such a culture that's so mimicked because we're so different. And now I wish we would just stop all the pornography and everything. Like, why the power sex scenes got to be so long? Like, that's just the only thing that I feel like is making everything so but it's just like, other than that, the music, the rap, you can turn like so much music out there. You can just find your own music you want to listen to. I wouldn't boycott it, I would just turn the channel.
What kind of pornography you be watching?
I don't watch no pornography. I just
How you know? Why you fed up with the pornography? You ain't
I've seen porn before, and these sex scenes have gotten very graphic lately. Like, used to not be able to
sex. How would you know?
It came up in her algorithm.
I watch Power. What are you talking about?
Jasmine, to answer your question,
Power.
Is like they don't show all the different sides of black people. They're only showing one part. So if they did that, then we could all love. We don't hate ratchet people. We just we know that we're multiple things, but the world does not.
Well, we used to have like Girlfriends and Family Matters and all these the positive things that we would see on TV. They showed us successful black people as well.
for a time.
Well,
All right,
that's what I was
let me-
going to say. I think the biggest issue is that the fact that there isn't a balance of music or things that we see on TV. You know, like say, you know, back in the day, there was, you know, leaders of the old, what is it? Leaders of the old school. You had, you know, various artists that kind of you were able, like De La Soul, like you had so many various artists that you had your ratchet stuff, but then you had, you know, some positive stuff. So there was a balance of music as well as TV shows. But today, I just think that it has gotten so narrow in terms of what kind of music is available. So even if you're in neo soul, you have to go look for it, whereas that was part of the rotation back in the day. And so you end up hearing most of the ratchet music and seeing, well, people ain't even really watching TV anymore. They're using, you know, watching YouTube and on IG all day. So it's just reinforcing all of that negative stuff. So I think if we can get back to at least having some shows that are on TV and making more of the other music, because it's just like underground now. If we can start making that music more popular by us making a choice to listen to it, so then it can be on rotation to compete with the other music, then I think that would help with balancing some of that out.
But ladies, okay, let's just say they did get rid of porn. Let's just say that they did.
Porn.
How else are y'all gonna learn how to? How else are y'all gonna learn how to have sex?
We didn't say get rid of porn.
Don't answer his question. Boycott his question.
Darwin, go somewhere.
Hey, bro.
Hold on.
Nobody said get rid of porn.
Jasmine did say that.
Nobody said that.
What did you say, Jasmine?
I said, why does the TV shows have to be so pornographic? Like, you can still have a sex scene without we seeing Lala's vagina. Like, you know, I'm just saying, it was just making it so.
People were having sex way before porn came out, so they'll figure it out.
So porn ain't really the problem. Y'all don't really need porn to be out there busting it open. So is that really the problem?
It is. So I think what she's trying to say is there used to be a time and place for things where some of that stuff was censored. Kids don't need to be exposed to that BS, okay? And let me just tell you how powerful music is. Music is so powerful. It's probably the one thing that we compete against when we're trying to educate your kids, because got them little ear pods in their ears, and we're sitting here trying to say, hey, and it's never, they listen to it all day long. Imagine you listening to something all day. Mistaken knows, she can vouch for this, and you're competing against that ear pod, that music they've got going in their head. So, yes, I think, listen to them. Let me finish. I agree with Ruth. I said, you guys sit here like, oh, there's nothing we can do. Yeah, it is something you can do. If people are talking bad about your name, you can absolutely say something against it. I'm not saying get rid of Sexy Red. I'm just saying censor her ass. Don't put her on prime time. Put her like we used to do. What was it? 2 Live Crew on a jukebox or some shit. I don't know, but she does not need to be music? Where you remember. Y'all don't act like y'all don't know jukebox. Don't you do it?
How do you know 2 Live Crew?
No, but not even that. You know what the problem is?
Let me just finish real fast. I'm not saying she can't be in that your kids have access to that, right? Kids don't need to be listening to that. You need to put that somewhere grown folks' music. They don't need to be all the time. And like Mistaken said, and I think somebody else said, there needs to be a balance. That does not need to be 24/7 all day long. It needs to come on after 10 o'clock, just like Tip Drill, and call it a day. Why is it on at 10 o'clock in the morning? It's like in the morning, 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Like, Jesus.
Shane, you lying.
No.
Y'all are lying. You know why? Because I guarantee you show hands. All the women on this show hands. Have y'all trying to... I'm going to be quick, Trev. How many of y'all women on this panel?
Pause.
then had sex in the house and the kids is upstairs sleeping some shit?
What?
Show of hands.
Darwin, go get you some booty. You're talking way too much
See,
about
y'all
what
lying.
the
Hey,
boycotting all
look.
Every man on this panel done been
Go ahead,
that.
take a
Every man
pause.
on this panel done been that kid upstairs and heard y'all down there knocking the boots.
I bet you mine ain't heard nothing.
No, you got to be
Then
quiet
if y'all-
about it, bro.
listen, if y'all want to start with change, go in y'all closets right now and take that fishnet outfit and throw it away. Because y'all are worried about
Let me say this real
You know-
fast, JR. Let me say this real fast. I think too, we are forgetting that music is a universal language. There are people who have never met an African American person before, but they look at the music and they think that that is us. Okay, we're taking for granted that we know that there are, we got better African Americans. We got all these great things that are happening, but we cannot. You cannot say that when you go to another country. I know, because I told you on the Chic Critique one night, I met a guy from Colombia. And I said, give me your real opinion on how we're seeing. And he had everything bad to say. And when I tried to explain to him that that's just what they want you to see. And he said, well, why don't y'all do something about it? And we're sitting here trying to do something about it. And everybody's like, you can't do that because that's what we want to hear. Our music, our beat make more, you know what I'm saying? You're going to take our music away from us because that's more important to us than our reputation. Like, come on. Like, y'all sound...
All right.
I don't know.
There's a bigger problem than that.
Curling up over here.
There's a bigger problem than that. Americans in particular are addicted to shock entertainment, right? And the big machines, we're talking about Google or Alphabet Company, the root company. They're an advertisement company. Facebook, advertisement company. And guess what? They have shareholders. Once they start to lose money, it's over. They're not going to stop. All they care about is getting you into a rabbit hole to get as much face time as possible. Period. So the advertisers can pay them more. That's the problem. But if we weren't addicted to shock entertainment already, then that would be something different. But that's what we're addicted to right now. We want to see something wild. Especially, you talking about Gen X. Good luck trying to take these mother lovers off the screen. It doesn't happen. They spend hours and hours and hours. And there's no regulations. There are countries who, we refer to as communists and different things that limit the children's screen time. There's no legislation to stop that. We want our freedoms. And if the law allows the freedoms and us as parents allow the freedoms, the only way you could stop it is to say, all right, well, you don't have these liberties anymore. You can't watch this much Facebook. You can't watch this much YouTube. We'd have to regulate. There's no regulation. If there's no regulation and you have an addiction and you have people who are incentivized to keep you on the screen all day, they don't really care about our lives. All they ever care about is the bottom line. They care about making more money than they did the last month. That's how these companies survive. And the moment they don't, they fail. So how do we stop that if we know that we have people who are addicted to shock culture and shock entertainment, and then we have advertisers who are saying, look, I just need the Time Warner so I can advertise to these people and gain more money. And you have shareholders that are saying, calling these guys up, look, I have 6.4 billion in your company. Why am I not getting 6.5? I need to get to 6.5. I need more hits from these advertisers, meaning they need more screen time from you. And they're going to do whatever they have to get it. They don't care at all. It's over. They do not care, and they never will. I promise you. They will never care. There's no end in sight for that.
It sounds like you should be the shareholders then, doesn't it?
Yes.
Solutions, right?
But what are you going to do as a shareholder? Start to lose money? Are you going to invest money so you can lose? Is that what you're going to do?
Talented. Well, you got to believe in yourself, Trev, because we're so talented. We can do all types. We can go back to R&B and we can say, hey, we're no longer going to support this. We're going to support our R&B. Period.
R&B is nice.
R&B is nice, but people don't watch it. So you're gonna be cutting off your nose to spite your face. You're gonna lose money.
They don't offer it.
No, they listen to it. They listen to white people singing it now. It's still all right. So they just took it from you.
So then the question becomes, how much are you willing to invest that you're going to lose. Because for you to have any say,
Why
you
do
have to have
lose?
a certain amount of shares. Huh? Say what?
Why do you have to lose money? Like, we know R&B works. Our
Why do you have to lose
still
money?
listening.
Because when screen
Hold on.
time, when FaceTime goes down, you lose money.
How
our
are we
children are
losing
still
money?
listening. Our children, we all listen
She's
to the
saying
songs
if
in
you
the
invest
90s.
more.
We are still listening. We still
Okay.
remixing off the 90s. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, so you're getting back to the point where you think that Gen X can move the needle. Is that what we're trying to do right now, or are we going to understand that the money market is now millennials, and you got Gen Z coming on strong?
All the songs. What I'm saying is, all our kids. I don't know. My kids are older. They are still singing our songs from the 90s and the 2000s. So you can't say that music is not going to work. It's just not presented to us.
Them New Edition concerts be packed.
Hey, has everybody spoke on this?
You make me want to leave the one I'm with, start a new relationship with you.
Nah, that was
Look at Shan. Hold on, wait a minute. Look at Shan.
Oh,
Grooving to a
R&B,
song where a nigga talk about
R&B.
leaving this woman.
It's better than pop that coochie and putting your vagina.
Word.
They saying the
Vagina.
same
That
thing.
putting
They
your
saying the
How
same
did you know
shit.
that was in the
It's the
song?
same, it's the same messaging.
Man, how did you know that was in the
It's the
song?
same messaging.
But it's not vulgar.
She just
We
said
got
that was
taste.
the song. She
It
just
is.
rapped
They're
it.
just saying it nice.
Wait, do
It
you
is
hear the songs
vulgar.
from back in the day? Yo, they was saying some crazy
Yes.
stuff back in the day. Too.
There's some bad songs back in the day, but sometimes it is.
And y'all danced off
And
that
I
shit
see
too, right?
China.
Yeah, they
Come
were.
on
Y'all
now.
cut it off.
Y'all
Y'all
seen
danced to
Shan?
it.
Y'all seen
I'm gonna
Shan
cut
grooving
you
to
off.
it?
Is it vulgar?
Like that fishnet
It
black
is.
pantyhose.
Did y'all cut it off or did y'all dance to it? Exactly.
Adina Howard.
Some of y'all got
Listen
babies
to this
behind
right
it.
here. My thing
Adina
is this.
Howard.
If they want a wow factor, let their people
Adina,
do it.
huh?
Why we gotta do it? Let their people be the wow factor.
Stop being the face of nonsense.
Stop being the entertainment. Why y'all trying to be the Why you
Freaky
want to be
baby.
the entertainment?
What song was
Yeah,
Adina
tap
Howard? What was that?
dancing.
We the help. That's the help.
What the
We the
hell?
entertainer.
Freak all
We the
through
help.
the day
Still.
to the early
not
morning. You remember that?
Women turned themselves out on that shit.
Girl, they not trying to leave that music alone. They'll
Go
still
ahead, D.
for that music.
D, did you want to speak on?
Yeah, the only thing that I want to add is just when it comes to competition and just affiliation, that's what's really going to drive a lot of. I mean, social media is marketing. The more views, the more. But even within like our own Black culture, if you're seeing like elevation and people moving up a certain way, and once you get to a certain point of establishment, I do see people that move further out. So it's just really just rebuilding our brand and just going back to a couple of things that Ruth was saying earlier, to where if you have more of you want to make a change, you want to start having all of this just start flowing different, the more just even like support, understanding like how we want to control our streams and what our children is seeing. I was at this event last summer, and it was a group of 13 through 19-year-olds, all Black kids. And we brought in some of our local students to be a part of them. And the first thing they said, I don't want to be in a room with these ghetto kids. And I said, well, what makes them ghetto? Because you're seeing Black people. And it was like, I don't know, you could just tell. And I said, well, hold on. The 13-year-old's the chief financial officer. The 16-year-old's the CEO. I'm like, they produce their own companies. So even with just the environment that we have our children in, this is the first thing that their minds went to. So I'm like, no, I'm going to change our narrative, because even with our young generation, they don't see that Black people can have this certain like status quo or begin at a very young age. So I'm changing the narratives for a lot of our young, especially seeing like people in their own companies, in their own like president, and just holding these high end roles, to where I had to teach my own children. This not just a white man's thing. Like, Black people, we have been doing this for generations. Even when it comes to teaching other cultures, where do you think that they got the support? Where do you think that they even began to do, or were even able to equip to do the very things that they had to do? So it's a very just mind thing. Even if you take the graphics, you take them away, people know the mind imagination it builds. If you're able to take these TV shows and whatever and put images, you're going to crave for it more. So they definitely have with even the use of AI. You just mentioning something, it's on your phone. So you want to sign up for these rewards program and all of this stuff. It's just a whole tracking thing. What more for people? And I love when people say, they be like, oh, end of the times, it's a chip, it's a chip. You got a phone in your hand. You making sure you taking it wherever you go. So no matter what you're doing, coming and going, I'm finna turn off my location. It's still being monitored. You still done went onto your other device doing some type of stuff. So to even say that you're living a private life, to even try to do certain things to where you're like, I'm just gonna go off, like the grid, it don't matter. You still getting in your car. You still like using something to where if who was it, AT&T had they phone outage, like whatever. Like people are just so used to what they're comfortable to. So then if I start like, okay, you know what? Let me start switching up my narratives. I don't allow my children to listen to certain things, but I can't control when they go out with their father. He might have them listen to something. But the influence, I feel like within our Black culture needs to be more powerful. The generations over time, you feel like your parent was more strict. You're like, you know what? My mom was mean. Like, I'm not going to be as strict. So you start losing that, just that keeping that moral, keeping that standard. So I tell my daughters, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. You can come and talk to me as open as you want to, but there better be certain boundaries and limitations. Now, granted, I know that you send them off into this world, there's going to be more influence. Again, these kids, they're on the elementary. Like, at what point do you really start teaching our young Black children just even how, like, their worth, their value? I'm not going to send them to anybody else. Like, if you can't look at yourself as a reflection, how can I expect for this even society today to even teach my children or anybody else's to where you are beyond measurable? In this world, no matter whatever you want to do, and especially for our Black community, I don't think that we sometimes realize the strength that we do have, and even the competition. If I know that Ruth is finna start a business, and I'm like, well, dang, she already got like 100% sales. Why mine's not doing this? Stop asking, like, stop even trying to go into more of a competition within. I feel like, even, I hate to say it, I see it more within our own selves, so where we want to stop the next growth because we want to be that person that's shining in the community. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I just see it more so to where if I'm gonna go buy this Gucci thing, but somebody else that's a Black person, like, oh, well, they selling this too much. No, like, don't, just because this has just started, or even a shift or change of anything. So, but it's a lot of different hits and ways, but really just with competition, affiliation, even if we just highlight and just start, even with different shares and all different types of angles, you can really just change what's going to be popping up on the feeds for not only ourselves, but for our children. So, but it's a lot. So I'm not surprised that certain things are highlighted. We have more Black people that are in these like high top positions, but unfortunately it's like that lower ball is what gets shown a lot more because that's what people are attracted to.
If you're horny, let's do it. Ride it, my pony.
It's my pony, not my real dingaling. Okay, it's the difference.
Ain't nobody talking about no goddamn pony in that damn song.
I didn't listen to that either.
You are full of it, Shan.
I didn't listen. I was a genuine fan.
Let me go get to the super chats real quick so we can just get to this next topic. AP Accountability Partner said, just spending my date money on super chats since Ruth shot me down. Seriously, great panel tonight, JR. If Darwin got out of line, I'm calling Kenny. Anyway, $2 said mistake drinking a natty daddy.
What's natty daddy? Pause.
Oh no. The AP Accountability Part $5 says Trev, it's not pause anymore, it's no Diddy according to the kids. Congo English. JR, interesting dialogue, much appreciated. Thank you, sir. KP $2 says it's dead. Females on the panel, no sexy red lyrics.
Do y'all?
Do we what? I'm sorry. The question.
Y'all know sexy red lyrics?
I heard one line.
I just
Something was
remember
pink.
I heard
Grandma
I was
hands on
done.
your knees.
playing something
Yana,
Ringo Brown.
let
That was the only
that
thing that I
Yeah.
let
heard.
that
I don't know what
breathe.
else to
Hands on
say.
your knees.
That's the only one y'all paid attention to. That's what it
It was
was.
a line. I didn't even hear the song. So,
Nasty little
but you
heat.
have to
Somebody
know.
great.
The
You have to know what your kids are
AP
singing.
accountability partner $2 says yes, Trev, long-winded as fuck. Kenneth
She was.
$2 said mistaken when they reminisce over you, my God. AP says Trev, regarding the numbers, do baby deletions and catch and release play into those numbers? I'm just curious. Those kids still doing the same ish. Big
I'm gonna be
Ann
looking that up tonight.
says, can we stop lying? There has all been a so-called sexy red and Sukiana in our community. Just today, we call her grandmama and auntie and mama. I ain't going nowhere. Black America is dying because black women are being coddled, empowered, and emboldened. The more government give black women, the more black women drift away from black families. KP says, Shan Hush, you done pop your thing for the loop. And unsubscriber 499 says, other cultures lead in quantum computing, nanotechnology, renewable energy, blockchain, and the next gen weapons, but we lead in music, fashion, and dance.
You know what's
That
crazy?
has contributed to the platform thus far. No, I don't know what's crazy. Ruth, I know you're going to tell us.
Yeah, but when you say fashion, dance, and the other thing, like that was given to us. It's not like we could, hey, let's find out about nanotechnology. We got to come up with our own stuff because everything we know has been passed down. So we got to do our own.
All right, let me go ahead and get to this topic. The reason why men lose interest in a woman during dating.
Men disappear because they feel like their effort is not being reciprocated. Talk about it. So hear me out. A lot of women feel like their approach to dating is, you as a man have to prove to me you are worthy of my time, my energy, and me being more vulnerable to you. And because of what you've been through, you think that's the right way to do it. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with a man who's actually serious and he's seeing you're holding back, you got walls up, he has concerns that you're wasting his time. So now he falls off because he's like, all right, she's tripping, she's not really making any effort. But because there's still a desire there, because he still likes her, I think the comment, the like is a temperature check. Let me see how she'll respond. Let me see if I can still reignite something here. But it all stemmed from, are we actually making a mutual effort to get to know each other? Okay. So just make sure before you start throwing all kinds of accusations at the man, ask yourself, was I coming correct in this process or not?
Cook up, sir.
Nah, she gonna go back to her homegirls and say, he love bombed me.
All right, go ahead, M. White. Want to go ahead and kick this one off? You on mute.
I said I wanted to answer Darwin's question the last one. I didn't get a chance to speak. So
Hey, go ahead and answer that, Joey.
So do you want to go with that one, JR, or you can go to somebody else if you want to go for this
All right,
video.
you want to go ahead and answer it, and then you can go ahead and answer it, and then we can go ahead and talk about this.
Okay. So I think the answer to your question, Darwin, was I don't think any black people are against people leveling up. I think we promote that and we praise that. I think the issue comes with assimilation. So a lot of the non-entertainment businesses, a lot of times it's centered around proximity to whiteness. So we view that leveling up differently depending on how it's done. So if you do it and then now you change your attire to wearing khakis and speaking a certain way, it's assimilating into a different culture. And by doing that, then black people will be like, are you not black no more? Because the further up you move, the more you have to be like as homogenous as possible with the group that you're intermingling with. So it's a catch-22 because you kind of outclass, like you switch class levels, which also has a different vernacular, different dress code. So people will view that a specific way if you no longer seem like you're relatable to your previous, I guess you could call it level. But it could be seen when people, like what Jasmine earlier said, why can't we just love all types of black people, right? I 100% agree with her. the reason why most of the people who would seem to be like hood culture or whatever is still like they maintain their blackness while leveling up, whatever that may look like. It's no forced assimilation. So I think it's a nuanced thing. It's not really that people don't want to see you level up. It's that we all kind of have an interconnectedness. And then when you disconnect and connect us by assimilating to another community, that's when you start to hear those type of things.
So just ditch the khakis and we good.
Yeah, I think just
I was trying to figure it out too, Bruiser. I'm like,
so say you it's your hair. So say you want to wear your
I
hair,
don't have
right?
any hair, bro.
No, I'm
I got
just
khakis,
following.
though. I can throw those away.
Say you want to wear your hair, say in whatever style you felt was culturally relevant to you, right? Most of the time you're gonna have to have a specific type of haircut. Say if you like a certain, like you were known for being fresh in this way, it's not acceptable as what the norm is for the rooms you will be in at that point. So then you change your dressing. Now you're having conversations and everybody speaks a specific way. So you change your speech to sound like that. But when you come back to the people who still dress the same way you used to dress, still talk the same way you used to talk, that's where the disconnect comes. It's not in somebody leveling up. I think we applaud that and brag on it, honestly. Like, man, you seen dog when he doing this thing, da-da-da-da. But if you disconnect, that's when the issue comes in.
So you don't feel like it's necessary to get everybody, people you associate with that are different from other people that you associate with to like you? Because I think it's a term for that whenever you kind of mimic or mirror some of the characteristics of the people in the room.
It's called assimilation. The term is assimilation.
Okay, but there's another term like I guess it is assimilation, but it's an intent, isn't a motive behind it, and it's for the best interest of the relationship you have with those people. It's not necessarily forgetting the people that you came up with or nothing like that. And then oftentimes, whenever you educate yourself, you start your language and your tone start to change the higher you go up in education. It happened to me. I went to school in Alabama, so you probably wouldn't be able to tell in my voice because I've been so far into college. It just started changing. And it's not necessarily trying to be white or whatever. It's just education and success.
So I went to two PWIs, predominantly white institutions, University of Connecticut and University of Purdue. I never changed my vernacular. I never changed the way I dressed or spoke. So when I would come in a room, ironically, it would differentiate me and it proved that competence was going to be the only thing I stood on because I'm not willing to assimilate in that way. It's either I'm gonna be accepted as myself or I just won't be in that room. That's my personal thing, but I understand.
You ever spend hours talking to a Spanish person and then
I know we got to get back
talking with a Spanish accent, and all of a sudden, sometimes you say words that's Spanish accent. But you
No, I
get
don't do
around
that.
people, you start talking like them for a long time. I mean, you might live. I don't even know where you live at. You live in the suburbs, or you still live in the hood?
I live in Chicago. I wouldn't say it's the hood, but I live in Chicago.
I mean, did you move from your original location where you came up from?
Yeah,
You
not
did?
that far. Yeah, I still live in a black neighborhood. I still live in a black neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe your demographics change. You'd be surprised how much it'll affect how you are, your personality and characteristics.
Bro, I lived all around the world. I never like I lived in what, Cali, Lebanon, Syria, Dominican Republic. I lived all over the place. I never decided to change the inner workings of what would make me meet for whatever reason success would bring. It's a decision I made. And that's not to say it's wrong to make an opposite decision. It's just saying
it's not intentional making those changes.
So we got to get back on the topic.
But the real
Body-
fast,
Yeah.
just to
I
Marcus,
got something for that.
but Marcus,
Yeah,
you don't
that's-
sound. You're like neutral. It's not like you ain't like, yo, what's up? You know, like you just have a voice in itself will work in a white, like you're not a. I don't know how to say it. But your voice, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to change because you kind of fit anyway. If that's natural to you, well, great, because you fit. Sorry to tell you.
I'm saying, but I
Right.
still could go in the hood and it's not no issue. I've never been accused of not being connected.
All right, so we got to get.
Nobody has.
I got something. I got something for this topic, the current topic. I got something.
Yeah, go
All
to
right, so, but I mean, before I spew a bunch of things that may agitate the lovely ladies on the panel, just understand that, I'm not talking to you, so don't get like super mad at me and thinking that I'm talking to any of y'all. I'm just speaking about women in general. All right, here we go. So I can tell you quite a few reasons as to why men lose interest in women during dating, right? Women are quite boring, for one, right? They expect you to be funny. They expect you to be entertaining. They expect you to lead the conversation. They expect you to pay for the date. They expect you to push up. You got to initiate any aspect of it, whether it's sexual content, whether it's the first move, whether it's the conversation, whether it's the meet. You are expected to do everything. Women really don't have to do anything. You're really putting forth minimal effort. And women feel like, okay, well, I had to spend a lot of money to get cute for you. So did I. And I don't care. That's just what it is. Like, I had to get fresh too, right? I had to smell good too. I had to shower. I had to get myself a little lineup. I had to put on something cool because you were going to be more judgmental of my outfit than I will for yours. That's the reality of it, right? And women offer very little. And they have a sense of entitlement when they come into the dating world as to where we're supposed to do everything, right? We're expected to be chivalrous and offer equality at the same time, which is really not possible, but it's expected of us. And it's just unrealistic expectations as it is right now. The average man trying to date the average woman is outrageous right now. It's just not even doable at this point, right? You're expecting to get a superhero on a date. Like, a lot of things that are expected of a man are just not practical. Like, most people aren't comedians, but you'd be like, oh, he's corny, he's not funny. Or, you expect a man to be rich. You expect a man to be able to spend, you want a $200 date for your first date. But when you think about it, if the average man is making about $50,000 a year, look at what that's going to do to my check. Right? You're going to take out 20% of my earnings for that week before taxes, after taxes, even more than that. You're talking about 30-40%. That's unreasonable. But that's what's expected of. Like, I'm not going to the Cheesecake Factory. This is crazy, but this is what women expect of you. And they expect you to be patient with them and wait on them until they're good and ready to deal with you the way you want to deal with them. And that's fine. But when my expectations are so high, it's tough for me to deal with. It's not something that is pleasurable for most men. That's why a lot of men are just checking out. They're cutting right to it. They're going to get themselves a little hooker or whatever, right? A little scallywag they could just buy because they can opt out of all of the hoopla involved in dating. Because dating, in all honesty, is frustrating. Because, again, women are really not entertaining. Like, you have to understand the man's perspective when he's actually sitting on a date. He's just counting down for the most part. Because most females aren't amicable, right? They're standoffish, jaded. They don't even want to deal with you. You're like, well, damn. You just hear you waiting it out. It's awkward as hell. You're like, damn, I don't even know. Like, it's so hard just to engage sometimes. Even when you meet a woman, they don't even want to say, like, what's up to you. Like, they just like, oh, like, all of a sudden, women have this view on men that's just makes us like predators, right? Like, we're just trying to harm you. You're so worried, and you need to call your friends to make sure, hey, this is where I'm going to be, and yeah, just in case. And then you got mad money. There's nothing in good faith anymore. You're expecting me to fail. You're expecting me to do wrong, and I have to dig out of a hole. I'm starting in a hole. You thinking of all these terrible things about me before we even meet. And now we get to the date. You don't even like me. I done spent my money. I get nothing out of it. You had a good meal. And then you have plate pirates who have no intention on seeing you again, but will literally just have you take them on a date just so they can eat. I know women personally who will date 2 to 3 guys in a day just to satisfy their ravenous appetites and have no intention on any engagement with the man outside of the date. So this is a system that's completely abused by women, and it's advantageous to women to do so, whereas men are investing a lot more into the situation versus women.
Can I please have
You
this?
can.
Can I please have this? Okay. It's cause and effect, okay? Even you yourself, your whole point is to get in her pants, right? That's your point. What is she? If her point is to get a commitment out of you,
I never said that.
listen what I'm saying, because you just said I'll just pay for a prostitute.
Got his ass cooked.
So,
He got cooked.
so this is the problem. Women have caught on to the fact that, oh, you're gonna sit here in my face and play like you're intentional just to get in my pants, and then I'm gonna be left with a broken heart. You understand? Now they're taking their heart off of it. Like, you want to play me, I'm gonna play you. How about that? And I'm not saying it's right, because I do believe the women are taking it too far. This whole meal thing, like, girl, sit down somewhere. But I think that it's both ways. Both people are trying to play each other, trying to get something out of the other one. And it's just all going wrong. Women feel like men are only going on dates just to get in the box. Because guess what? At the end of the day, the marriage rates show that that's what they're doing. You're not committing. You're not getting married. She wants a commitment. She's not getting what she wants, but you probably got the box. So
That would be great if 80% of divorces weren't initiated by women.
So it doesn't. So I get that. But at the end of the day, if she's giving you your part, right, and you're not giving her the commitment, you're the only one walking away happy. Okay? And so if she goes from one relationship and she goes to another relationship and it's the same outcome where she's giving you her time, and all the men who've never had a black woman love you, I apologize, because it could be a great thing. But at some point, women get tired of putting their end. You sitting here holding her on for 2-3 years, she loving on you, and the next thing you know, it ain't gonna work, because in your mind, you already knew you wasn't gonna marry her. Okay? Women only win. Listen, women only win when there's a commitment, and our marriage rates show that she has a more chance of not being married than she does in being married. And so women have caught on to it, and now that y'all just playing each other. That's what you're doing. You're playing each other. You're like, okay, you want this vagina? I got them pockets, okay? And I'm not saying, because we know that you guys are all married. But just look at the dating. It's just people. Everybody's out for themselves.
So Shan, is this your typical experience or no?
No, this is what I'm seeing. This is so at the end of the day.
Oh, so it's not your typical experience, right? I would challenge
Trev,
most women on this panel that.
Trev.
Go ahead.
How many friends do you know, or how many men you know, got a girlfriend and they ain't married?
Actually, most of the men I know are
not
married.
many. Yeah.
But,
so what I'm
if only 48% of men are married, black men are married, we gotta say that we see that there are people out here in long-term relationships, they're just not getting married.
So Shan, what you're speaking to is the top 10%, the people who they refer to as F-boys, right? The new meaning of F-boy or whatever. So no. Yes, because the average man's experience is not like that. The average man is actually yearning for a relationship. He would do everything in his damn power to be able to.
Is he yearning for a commitment, a marriage?
Yes, the average man is. The top 10% of women who get most of the date, who are dating most of the women, no, that's not their idea. No, because you all give it up to this guy, and that's fine, and you get those results that you were talking about. That's the results you always yield if these are the men you constantly date. But the average man yearns for a long-term relationship. Absolutely. But most women duck, dodge, and hide from these guys because they activate their icks. They're corny. They're not cool. They're not 6 feet tall. They avoid these dudes.
That's jabber.
And that's the dudes. No, it's not jabber. Stop it.
Listen,
that's real life.
This is why it's jabber.
Jabber? Are you for real?
Right now with somebody. Most of them are in a relationship right now. The single women on this panel probably got somebody they dating that they in love with, right? That nigga just don't want you like that. Okay? He is stringing you along.
The only reason that would be the case is if you're punching outside of your weight class.
I'm just saying in general, like the chat. Let's just be honest.
In general, they're punching outside of their weight class.
Listen, Trev, you're not in the dating scene. You cannot say from a female's perspective. Okay?
Yes, I can.
So what I'm saying to you is, most women, when you go out in the streets, you go to the grocery store, these women don't got rings on their finger, but they got a man. They got a man. Sometimes he right there beside them, but they ain't got a ring on their finger. He ain't committed. He not.
Tell you
All
what,
right, I got a question.
Never,
Wait,
I've
Trev,
never.
I got a
I'm
question.
gonna just end it with this real quick. I'll tell you this. I've met, in just in general, men who I've met who are single. They could typically be the average guy, right? Women who are having problems with men, I can easily identify most of the problems that they have and have helped people into finding decent men. I'll just say that. I'll end it there because I know you want to go.
I got a question. I got a question real quick. All the ladies on this panel, have any of y'all ever been proposed to?
Yeah.
Shan? You've never been proposed to?
I had somebody wanted to ask my dad. Like, okay, I'll take your yes.
Jasmine, how old are you?
I'm 33.
And you've never been proposed to?
Nope.
Have a guy ever spoke to you about marriage and said he wanted to marry you but didn't propose?
Yep.
How many times?
Twice.
Twice. Ruth, how many times have you been proposed to or a guy talked about seriously marrying you?
Yeah, an actual one a couple times. But they didn't.
You've been proposed to a couple times?
I don't know. He brought a ring before we went on a date. I don't think it counts. I think it's cap.
The question is, how many people have y'all been in a long-term relationship with that you wanted to end in marriage and you were doing everything that you possibly can do to get into marriage and he
No,
never
Shan, that is not
the
my question.
question.
That is not my question. Stop. No. You don't get to change my question.
Let me tell you.
Wait. Don't get to change my question to what they wanted from somebody, because then you're going to prove Trev's point when he said you wanted what you wanted from a guy that didn't want something from you. That does not mean there weren't guys that actually wanted her. All the women on this panel have been proposed to or spoke to, or marriage was a topic of conversation with every woman on this panel, including you.
For sure.
So you
But
can't
you didn't ask me why it didn't work out. Like that's so you're saying that anyone. So let me just say this. Do you have a daughter, Sweeney? So any man that wants to marry her, she should just be like, yes, I take. You just be grateful that
he's talking about his
you want to marry
their
me.
intentions.
No,
their intentions
no.
were to get married.
Their intent. What I'm saying is to Trev's point. Just to slow this thing down real quick.
So
oftentimes, hold on, wait. How you go start talking?
Let him
And I'm
cook.
in the middle of trying to explain to you.
Okay, go ahead.
To Trev's point, a lot of women only focus on the person that they wanted and never recognize the times where they said no. So you think, well, because I told this man no, regardless of the reason, because there's also probably some reasons why he told you no as well. Regardless of the reason, women often ignore the person that they may have said no to, or the person that would have taken them serious, or the person and then they look at the one person that did them wrong and say, this is my experience and that's it. And it stops there. Just like you tried to apply to men and say, have you ever dated a woman and you ignored her and didn't want to deal with her and all of that? And I would probably make the argument that all of us on this panel have. But there was also a woman that we wanted to marry that we tried to. We've all been turned down on this panel. We've all had a woman in our life that we wanted so bad and she did not want us. She wasn't checking for us, and we had to get on down the road. It's the same thing that happens with y'all, but y'all focus only on the motherfucker that did not want you and not the countless of niggas that's been trying to get at you, that would commit to you, that want you, and you be like, nah, I'm good. For whatever reason, you entitled for the reason why you don't want to. Some of them ain't shit. Some of them are shit. Some of them didn't tickle your fancy. Some of them didn't move this needle the right way. Who gives a shit? But there are some people who are willing to commit to you in your life. Life is about choices and trade-offs. Mm-hmm. We as men also we understand that aspect. It's choices and trade-offs. We don't get everything we want from a woman. Mm-hmm. When we find one and we check it down and be like, all right, it is what it is with this chick right here.
So let me ask you a question, Sweeney. The only issue is men lead the household, right? So I think that your role is bigger than a female's role. Okay. So when a woman is trying to find a man in a household, there's so many things that have to be right. You can date a dude and realize this Negro. And so for me, he had ended up having mental illness. So it just had it was something I just couldn't handle. But I'm just saying for other people, the issue is when you're looking for the CEO of your household, right? It's got to be right. Would you not agree? Do you think that every man is just able to be that guy? You understand? It's so much more for a woman. If you're asking,
when I asked y'all a couple weeks ago, how many men were marriageable? Some of y'all said 40, some of y'all said 50, one person said 35. That's a pretty large group of motherfuckers that's marriageable, and y'all are sitting here saying now all of a sudden there's nobody out there.
Well, you know, like we got access to them. Like, where?
Yeah, you have to have access to them, and then they gotta want you too. So it's.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say I'm a marriageable person?
I don't know you like that.
just from your experience with me. Would you say Sweeney is a marriageable person?
Peace when I come home. You like you talk a little.
Would you say Darwin is a marriageable person? Marcus, JR, Trev?
I think every man is marriageable. It's to somebody for everybody out there.
Oh shit.
So hold on, wait. No, let's let her have it. If that is the case, then why is it so hard to find somebody that's just gonna get down to the end of the road with you?
Ain't nobody got time.
I get it, and I get it. Hold on, wait. I get it. You got some things that a nigga just has to check off for you to want to be able to be that person.
It's the sex.
You
gotta be.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Listen,
fucking
you're not letting me explain. I'm not sick because you're a nympho. You won't let me explain. Sweeney, let me finish. If sex were not, there will be women who will be in a sexless marriage and they will be okay with marrying their best friend. Okay. But because men want sex all the time, you kind of want to be attracted to the man you're having sex with, right? You kind of want to kiss him, you know? So if I got to turn my head and always do the one leg up.
Oh, shit.
Is he
Can I get in on this, man? Because y'all, I didn't want to take y'all passion away. Y'all seem y'all real passionate about this shit.
You don't want to kiss him, Tweenie? I mean, just bare minimum, like.
I have a question for the married men because
how many men do you see in a day when you like, I really want to jump your bones?
Now I want to know what she finds attractive.
So none.
You just said Hold on, y'all. Jasmine said she got a question for the married man. Go ahead, Jasmine.
I feel like what Trevor was saying, every man, not every man, but I guess most men are wanting to be married. So I figure all the men on this panel that are married, you wanted to be married. So when you got turned down by the one girl you really was into, the next girl that you actually married, you're not going to tell her she was second choice. Like, she was somebody that you actually wanted to marry too. Like, your wife that's in your house right now, do you find her attractive? Does she do everything that you need for her? Like, she's what you wanted?
Yeah, but we're not going out there. Minus knowing her, minus never meeting a woman that we married to. We're not stepping out saying, I'm going to go find me a wife. That is not how. It's more like I'm going to go get me some pussy first.
Thank you, Bruiser, for being honest.
I mean, can we really be honest? But the reason why there's an issue is because men are starting to understand that women are initially dating economically.
They weren't always that way.
They weren't.
They
always
are
that
today.
way, but
You're absolutely right. Today,
they're being smarter, and now it's starting to be more like that. Like, what? It makes no sense to try to go in with your heart on your chest, hoping that this man marry you, and if he do, I mean, you still got to compensate for whether he even can provide for a family. And then he wants you to bust it open without even confirming that he can do that or confirming that he even willing to marry you. So women are saying, okay, I'm not going to put myself in a risky situation and get nothing out of it. Or you're going to have to come in here and pay some of these bills so we can get an even transaction or even trade off. And a lot of guys are not really, it's an honesty thing. It's all about setting the terms. If we're not setting the terms, then everybody just shooting from fucking half court. Like, I don't know a lot of guys are going I don't know if I want to marry this chick, but I do want to smash. And a lot of women are going into it. I don't know if this dude would want to marry me, but I do want to make sure I'm getting compensated for my time. So that's where the disconnect is. You got to play the game.
So Jazz, to answer your question, Jazz, I ain't gonna say that. So we've all been turned down at some point or another, but we never got, like Bruiser was definitely onto something here. We never got to that point of wanting to marry her. It took a lot of vetting, a lot of courting, different things for us to even feel like we want to marry this woman, right? It took some time. We don't go into a situation looking at a woman like, damn, I want to marry her. I mean, there are some guys who do that, but I would, it doesn't really turn out too well for those guys. Most guys would do a decent amount of vetting first. So me, my wife in particular, I wasn't necessarily marriage minded when I met her. Oh, I'll be honest with you. I was on a rampage when I met my wife. So she actually changed my mind a bit for me to even want to get married in the first place. So it's just one of those things. It all depends on what you offer. I did bring my best foot forward, right? Which I do, even though I may have been on a rampage, I still always treated people well, with respect, and, you know, as you would like a boyfriend, right? So being that she brought her best foot forward and did things that would entice me to make me want her to be around me all the time. So let me get you a game of
Like what? Can you give us an example?
I'm about to. So a man has to feel like he wants to be around you all the time, like forever. That forever thing is a big deal for a man. Forever is forever. So we have to be like, there's certain things we take into consideration. Will she be a good mother, right? Does she have this? Is she aligned with me morally? Does she have good hygiene? That's important to me. Does she share religion with me, or is at least she malleable where she would kind of conform to what it is that I would do, right? Can she get along with my family? Like my mother's opinion counted a lot, right? My father's opinion, my sister's opinion. So is she family oriented to begin with, right? Is she domesticated? Is she going to be a good leader of the household, right? Am I going to have decent looking children with her? Does she got that Gawk 3000? That's important too. So
But
we
Trev,
have to
why
take.
is it okay for you to have this long list, but she can't have a list? Like she can't.
Damn, bro, you ain't never gonna find a woman.
Can y'all do y'all want the game or no? Which one of those was hard for you to do? Which one don't you possess? That's the question.
I
Which
do all of
one
this
don't
stuff.
you possess? Okay, so why are we acting like this so hard to do then? What we doing?
But what I'm
What
saying,
we really doing? Are you
So-
just complaining to take a complaint? Or is this something that you
no, I think that it's
do?
wonderful.
Because you said
I-
all of those things are pretty easy to do, right? You do all of those, so it's doable. Right. So what are we talking about?
So what I'm saying is, just like you have things that you want that are natural for women, women have things that are supposed to be natural for men that we want. But sometimes these men are doing more of the woman role.
Well, I can tell you what's unreasonable and what is, right? So if you ask me, if you give a list, I would tell you what's unreasonable. If you say a person needs to be over 6 feet, then I feel like that's damn unreasonable. If you think a person should make over 100,000 a year, that's being in the top 10% of all incomes. Then you'd have to say, what about me makes me the top 10% of desirable women to match up with that? And if you don't offer that, if you're not better than 90% of women, period, then you don't have the right to ask for shit like that. And that's all we're saying.
So, Shan, real
See, I
quick,
think all of us are different.
would you say that anything that Trev listed that he expects of a woman that he wanted to marry is unreasonable?
No.
Now, if you had a homegirl that came to you and said, I expect this man to be 6'3", make $220,000 a year.
I don't have
No, but you have to understand that we're talking about the dating market. That if you went and watched Kendra G show, or you just go and watch Kendra G show about all these women who are looking for dates, and these women are coming in with kids, multiple baby daddies, and everything, and they're giving their standard for what they expect from a man. I guarantee you will probably look at them and say, a lot of the shit that y'all are expecting is unreasonable. And that's what, there's a reason why you're seeing all these female dating coaches. Matter of fact, I'll use Kendra G as an example. She talked mad cash shit to Kevin Samuels. mad cash shit about what he was talking to women about regarding their standards. Soon as she started talking to women and bringing women on her show, she slowly but surely started saying all the same shit Kevin Samuels was saying. And it's because she started recognizing, and this honestly just may be the women that call into her show. Some of them may be trolling or whatever. It may be that. But what she started to see was the same women that call into her show were also the same women that would call into his show. And so what she started recognizing was like, a lot of you motherfuckers are unreasonable.
Yeah.
And that's what and that's where it's coming into play. Because if a dude came to you and he made never mind, we ain't got to get into that. It's just
So, Queenie, real fast. I know that the internet has this funny way of making things look a certain way. But like I say all the time, when I walk outside, I see average people with average people, right? And they in these relationships, and they whatever's going on in this relationship, they can be having kids together. We just talked about a lot of kids are in households where both parents may be living together. What is stopping y'all from making that being committed to each other? We even hear on here, men are not wanting to get married because of marriage laws or divorce. Those are all so at the end of the day, she's not gonna walk away with what it is that she wants. Because most women, now some will say, okay, I'll settle for a life partner. I'll settle for as long as you're committed to me, right? But most women go in wanting that they want to be married. But if you got people who are saying, oh, they're worried about the divorce rates, or I don't want to, for whatever reason, all the 1,000 reasons why you don't want to be married. At the end of the day, she's not walking away with what she wants, but more than likely, he having sex with her consistently.
Well, to be honest with you,
all right, let's try to get some other people in there. Let's go to Marcus and Ruth.
Well, JR, can I say this real quick? Can I respond to that real quick, and then go
ahead.
I will say this to your point, Sharon. When I go out there and talk to regular folks, half of them don't say most of the shit that we say online regarding being afraid of marriage and stuff like that. However, the men do have their complaints. A lot of the times they tend to break up with the women over their attitudes. They do tend to find women becoming more unreasonable in relationships. And it may not be to the degree of expecting a man to make six figures, but there are certain things that they experience in those relationships that make them say, no, I'm good on this woman. Or they may run into a woman that's that argues with them all the time, or you know what I mean, that down talks them and things like that. And these are things that just regular guys experience. So when they experience that type of thing with a woman, and this is just regular dudes, I can see why they would be like, no, I'm good on getting married.
And real fast, all you gotta do is don't have sex with her. You walk away from the coochie. If she's not doing what you want her to do, stop having sex with her. Stop using her for sex. Walk away from her. Let her be with the man she's supposed to be with. Y'all be sitting here wasting time like a placeholder, like it's consistent coochie. So you already checked out in your mind because she got a mouth or she got all these things, but you still fucking her. Stop having sex with her.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead, Marcus.
You good, Mark?
Amazon.
Okay, I'll come back to you. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so different take. You're not gonna like this woman, but I 100% agree with Trev and Sweeney. Let's start from the beginning.
What?
Women are boring, selfish, and unreasonable, right? We are boring in conversation. We're not holding the conversation. We're not talking about what he wants to talk about. We're not asking him, like, when he says, how are you? Do you say, and how about you? Do you ever ask him how his day is going? So we don't even know how to reciprocate on regular, everyday language, even text messages.
Seriously.
So we do that. We're boring in conversation because when I was out there dating, a lot of people were like, I haven't had a deep conversation with a woman in a very long time. So it's not me saying it, it's them saying it. They're like, wow, we got to talk on the phone before the date. Yeah, because I don't want to even go to the
That
date.
dude is undercover gay, probably.
No, it's not. It's a lot of average guys. No.
He don't give a damn about no conversation.
Can I talk without being interrupted, please?
Yeah, all right. You better not ever interrupt nobody. I'm getting your ass as soon as you do.
does
Go ahead,
it.
though. Go ahead.
I'll just put myself on mute then, if that's
No,
okay.
go ahead. No,
I
I'm
would
gonna
like to
be
do whatever
waiting.
you want me to do.
Go ahead. I'm waiting
want
on
me
you
to
to interrupt
submissive
somebody.
to some man I don't even know. But anyway, I'm agreeing with y'all, and you interrupted me. Don't make no sense.
She is agreeing.
Go ahead.
But we are, if everything's about us and we don't have to do much, we are going to make it about us. I have to have that understanding that if I talk about my day and tell the whole story, like that is about me. You know, maybe they don't talk a lot, but we have to kind of push them and pull them in a conversation. We have to be great conversationalists in order to catch his attention. And Travis just told you the answer to the question. He said, my wife had to stop me at my tracks. So you have to be extraordinary to be able to get that commitment and to get those proposals. You know what I mean? And some man will propose to you, but you probably won't like that one. But if you want to get the one that you want, you have to have this amazing personality. They really are looking after looks for their personality. How much do you respect men? How are you going to down talk him? Are you going to come back every little thing? Sometimes I got to let things go because I'm like, now I'm sounding too like I'm going back and forth with him. So you got to keep all of that in mind. And now we're being unreasonable with our expectations. I'm not even going to go there. What I ask myself is, what did my mom require from my dad? Even my dad was telling me, you need to require this and that. And I'm like, my mom did not even require that from you. You know what I mean? So if we go back to those days, then we'll be able to pick a better partner. But they're too broke, they're too lazy for it. They have a regular 9 to 5 and their paycheck's not enough. You're going by the wrong things, and that's why we're not finding the people that we want. So I just think that we got to spruce it up, and we got to make it. If we make it more about the man, they are going to be super impressed right now. I don't think I'm saying anything offensive to women. If we could just step up our game, if you want to be married and you want to be better, then do that. You'll put yourself head and shoulders above all the other women out there. But the majority of women are not interested in the men. They don't even like the men like that. They just want the relationship. They want the marriage. They don't even want to be a wife. So we know these things. And so the men are coming in with this preconceived notion that all she wants is a commitment from me. When you think about it, if you want a commitment and he doesn't, you have an agenda. You have something that you want from him. It's not a bad thing, but it's what you want. If you want marriage, it's all about you. So if you put yourself in the man's shoes, what does he want as well? Now, I do agree with Michelle that men are stringing women along that don't want them. There are a percentage of men, but I also agree with Trev, like most men are not doing that. And most men do want to respect you, but you also have to present yourself as respectable.
Well, here's the thing, man. If I'm allowed to go now,
I didn't stop you, but go ahead.
I wouldn't. I think he wanted to go to Marcus first. I don't know if Marcus was ready though. But I would say this, man. If you talk to somebody who's currently in a relationship, you're gonna realize that a lot of the shit that men are saying that's a woman gotta have. When you get into a relationship and y'all really love each other and y'all vibing and shit, a lot of all that shit don't matter. It don't. As long as this woman ain't got a bad credit or some shit, she got all this outstanding loans and the criminal record, she good, man. As long as she's able to be led, she can come with, whatever. It's because when you lead her or she cooperate with you, a lot of these things can be adjusted. She don't have to come with all this criteria. Because when she getting into a relationship, a lot of that shit don't even matter. And a lot of the shit that she don't have and a lot of the qualities she don't already have and encompass, she gonna change those things for you if she like you. She gonna ask you, what do you want, daddy? How do you want it, daddy? Shit, then that's when you go ahead and start molding her or whatever you call it, malleable or some shit. But it's like all this stuff that she got to be predisposed to. She don't really have to if you really want to be in a marriage. If you want to smash, those are the things that she got to have. So when you say go up 3,000, you ain't thinking about no loan. You thinking about right now. When this woman is fertile, she's healthy, she ain't got all these crazy loans, she ain't got a criminal record, she look decent. That's long term. You thinking long term. You ain't worrying about all the little bullshit. So it's all about men just not understanding that, women are starting to date economically, man. Because they think you got to be all tall and handsome and all this stuff. But shit, when all that stuff fade away and she get used to looking at your ass and you broke, shit, it's on to the next. So you got to get your bread up, man. That's what the issue is. They realizing a lot of these women is going to require you to pay some bills or be generous. And a lot of niggas don't want to do that. Feminism swept the culture and everybody want women to be providers and shit. And
What?
women are really not adapting to economy. They still want men to be the providers that they used to be, even though the economy is fucked up. That's why you got Ebony K. Williams out here. So that's what I see, and that's what I hear when I talk to the groups.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Sweeney, I don't know what kind of magical men you surrounded by, but
Yes, please bring them.
it's a lot of bums out here. That's all.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that there's a lot of bums out there.
Crazy because that's all I see over here. So I was like, where y'all at? Y'all in Texas? Y'all okay? Because
Wait, where are you at?
I'm in North Carolina. It ain't nothing but a bunch of confused bums over here. They're either homeless or they're about to be.
So the only men in North Carolina are all bums.
Or they're already
Even in
married.
Raleigh?
Even in Raleigh. Even
That's the
Charlotte.
thing. Most of the ones who are marriageable are already married.
They already taken.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I ain't trying to steal nobody's husband.
I find that so hard to believe. I feel like the reason why I find it so hard to believe is because women don't take the simple things, and like Ruth was just talking about. Most women are just not considerate. I am telling you, consideration goes a long way. Most women are not considerate.
I got okay. Now, I can't speak on this yet anyway. So listen.
Are you saying you're considerate?
I'm very considerate. I just got out of a 6-year relationship, being super considerate to my 6 years. I ain't got no proposal, no ring. I was too considerate. This man had no car. He was just working out here. I was holding him down, paying half of all of the bills, and I'm just funding his career and making sure he get everywhere he go. So I'm funny and I do all these things and I keep my body together. So no, I'm too considerate.
So it took you 6 years to figure out that?
No, it didn't take me 6 years. That was just me being like, why should I throw away a good black man?
Oh, you were just being patient.
Hold on, wait. No, Trent, how tall was he? How tall was he?
6 foot.
He was laying that pipe on you, wasn't
Yeah, it was all right.
No, it wasn't. No, she lied.
Because that's what happens. Because the whole topic is why do men walk away from uninterested? I got uninterested and broke up with him because I got tired of waiting and I got tired of being.
So the first 5 years. So the first, hold on, wait. No, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I say the first 3 years on a scale from 1 to 10, how great was the sex?
It was great.
Scale 1 to 10.
But we were great.
How good was it? How good was his money?
You don't have to answer the question. I told you.
Not good. She had to pay some bills.
He didn't have no.
Oh, he was broke.
Ruth, you be trying to make me answer all kind of crazy stuff. Let her go.
You said how great was it? What?
On a scale from 1 to 10. Well, she just said that he didn't have no money. So
because that's the thing, it wasn't about money for me. It was like I thought this is.
He made you tingle.
Now you see.
Me happy, but you know how
he made you tingle.
You know how old people always say love don't pay the bills. Like I love this person. Like I thought you was my person because we matched.
Because he was making you tingle.
Did you say he was broke?
She said he was broke.
You would just figure things out, but it's like
yeah, that's not. I think if he was able to figure things out, you would have stayed with him, right? With his money, right?
Where in North Carolina are you?
He was figuring things out, but how long?
I'm saying if he had it figured out financially, things would be different, right?
If he would have proposed to me and married me, things would have been different. But I'm like, why are you making me?
How many years?
I'm not walking away from no man, no provider.
So had he proposed to you the day before he broke up with you? I mean, you broke up with him. The day before you broke up with him, had he proposed to you, you would have said yeah.
No.
All right. So how many years back would you have kept saying no? Would the answer have been no?
Back in 2023.
No. I mean, from the day. So if you count back the years from the day you left him, how many of those years back would you have said no?
Probably 2.
All right, so you're saying by year 4, you would have said yeah had he proposed to you.
Yes.
And he was the same exact person in year 3 as he was in year 6.
Yeah. No,
what about year?
It got worse. It got worse.
So, all right.
Listen,
I think we giving her.
He did you a favor, honey.
Bro,
I think
she met a dude at year 4, dude. That's what it is.
Girl, not Winston-Salem, but
let's keep it a bang. Hey, Jasmine, if you could just be honest for a second, just say
what
the vibes was right, and we all know what that means. The vibes was right.
Man, he was knocking the sonic rings out of her, bro. That's all it was.
Sonic rings out that thing.
when the women will understand this, like when you lose interest in somebody, she don't even work for you no
I'm
more.
not talking about when you lost interest. I'm talking about
He's talking
before
about
you lost
gain
interest.
interest.
When you gain interest.
When I gained interest,
He
I
was
liked him.
knocking
I saw he was an entrepreneur. He had a business. He was doing
He
things.
plays you.
You just said he was trying to figure it out.
He said he was trying to figure it out. He was broke and pay a bill.
Oh, he was.
He's trying to open a business. He's
Listen,
trying to figure
Sweeney.
it out.
Sweeney,
cute was he?
entrepreneur broke is a different broke, bro.
Every
How cute is
entrepreneur
he?
Was he a rapper?
Was he
No,
really
Hey,
cute?
Jazz, you need a one-on-one because if I do a forensic analysis on this, I guarantee I could find the holes in this shit. I really feel like
find the
there's
holes
some
right
mistakes
now.
there.
I didn't.
Yeah, like this is.
He was really, really handsome.
I didn't
was
say
handsome?
he was
Was he
handsome.
handsome?
So
Running a business.
He was tall. He was tall, handsome, and knocked the Sonic rings out that thing.
So,
That's what it was.
Jasmine, let me ask you a question real fast. Jasmine,
Yeah.
listen, you remind, I don't know how old you are, but
I'm
how old are you?
33.
Okay. So you remind me of myself. We get ourselves into something, we try to stick it out. You know, you're like, oh, just one more year, You're just doing all these things.
Yeah.
And I just don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. Girl, dip. Like after that 2, just leave. Like you're just wasting this 6 years. Look how young you are, 6 years.
Exactly. That sounds like never. But that's why when Trev was like plate pirates, I was cracking up. But it's like, I mean, if you're gonna be in
That's my advice to you.
Aggravate me, like now you can at least take me out if you want to, because my business hours are from 6 to 10. If you want to talk my head off or be in my face, you're gonna have to put a plate in front of me or something, because
that's how it starts.
Not nothing.
This is bull. Hold on, this is bullshit.
That one guy messed it up
No.
for everybody.
And somehow, somewhere, y'all don't understand how one chick can fuck it up for every woman in the world.
Jasmine got
happens
And
every day.
hold on, wait. And here's the
And you gotta understand it.
And here's the jacked up part. We all know she just admitted this nigga was tall, handsome, and not the. Yeah, she said. Have you ever stood next to a 6 foot motherfucker?
I mean, 6 foot is okay. It's not like tall.
And she said he was knocking the Sonic rings out
Marcus
the
is
thing
tall.
before she lost
Normal.
interest. She was it was the vibes. That's what she chose him on.
She didn't admit. I don't think she admitted to that, though.
No, he was an
She
entrepreneur. He was an entrepreneur, and we all know what that means. That's the same thing as
He sold her a dream.
That's the same thing as a woman coming up and saying that she's not an esthetician, but she does nails on the side, and she's got her own business. We all know what that shit means. That means broke. He was an entrepreneur. What did he do? What was he an entrepreneur in?
Photographer, but he owned the studio,
YouTuber?
and he owned the studio that he rented out to other people too.
He
So
owned the studio.
cool.
I guarantee you, when you looked on the walls of that studio, was the thing stapled to the wall?
What thing?
The when you like he owned the music studio.
Oh wait, bro, pause.
No.
Was the phone thing stapled to the wall?
No.
Did he have a Lenovo? Did he have a Lenovo PC with the 2 speakers in there? And he had the microphone. He had the
projector.
So Sweeney,
photographer.
Yo, this your whole is this your whole scheme, Sweeney? Like, what we doing?
Sweeney,
Sweeney got the same.
this is what happens to a lot of women.
You got some type of creep ass photography.
It's a real
spot or
fast,
some shit. What we doing?
real
They got
fast.
a
Oh, because y'all know them music. Y'all know them music studio artists.
You got the red light.
The nigga only got one red light. He got the regular ass microphone that he got off of Amazon with the.
Go away.
I bet you. Yeah, man. She said he was a photographer, right? She said he was a
He
photographer.
was a photographer.
Yeah, it's levels to the shit with the photography. I could tell you just
that
by
nigga
looking at
broke
it. If he ain't got a prime lens, he ain't about no photography. Did his lenses have red rings on them or no?
Yeah, he was a legit photographer.
So here's the real
I
question:
don't take nothing away from him.
If he don't take
wasn't a
pictures, he
husband.
don't get paid,
That's
right?
the only thing he wasn't. He wasn't a husband.
If he don't take pictures, he don't get paid, right?
No, that was his life. Like he
That's
had
what I'm saying. Like,
he had to work.
What's
And
this
plus he-
Instagram?
Plus he has.
Let's see these pictures.
I want to see the pictures too.
I'm done. Plus he had.
Put it in the back chat. Put it in the back chat.
I got a question. We just said if after 2 years she's supposed to dip. Now, if you were a guy and you wanted to propose to a woman, if she left you in the 2nd year, would you like go after her, or you be like, no, that was too fast. You should have waited for another.
There's such a thing as a trajectory. There's such a thing as a trajectory, right? And there's also First off, I would never just propose to a woman blindly. That's outrageous. These are things that you talk about. Like, we need to talk about a 5-year plan. I do know your credit score. I do know what neighborhoods you like to live in. Like, we don't just say, oh, we don't just guess game. Like, if you have open communications, you're supposed to be on the same page. And if you're paying attention, both of you, to the trajectory of the relationship, then you know, okay, this is both going in the direction that we appreciate. If it doesn't, then somebody's got a dip. Right. So the open communication would allow you to know where you stand with the other person. So you'll know, all right, look, I do want to get married by such and such. There's an engagement. And then you set a date. Right. You don't just set a date, but then you book a hall or whatever the place is that you're going to go ahead and have this session. So everything is on the table. There shouldn't be anything left to guesswork. That's outrageous. You have to discuss this with your partner. So at least you know you're on the same type of timeline. You have to. If you don't have a partner who's able to communicate that, or you feel comfortable communicating that with, then you're with the wrong damn partner.
Well, if you're not talking about that, you should leave at the 2-year mark, basically. That means he has no intention of
Trev said you need to have that conversation.
Right, but at 2 years,
Absolutely.
if she wasn't having that conversation, she should have left.
Let me just check in with D real quick. Make sure she want to add anything, D.
I think for me personally, just going into something, well, let me even take out just personally, just intention. Like, you know, at what point, if it's aligning with the direction of where you headed and going. So if you even mixing with a person, is given or not, and just being interested. Like, I feel like women more so will be led by emotions, and even just speaking of past relationships. So if they know I'm going to go into dating again, doing this and doing that, you're going to be more reserved. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, but men can deal with BS of a woman, but they're not going to look at this new woman as like, well, this one did this in the past to me. Like, it's just kind of like starting with a clean slate. More so women, you looking at, you know, what has men done to you in the past, and you want to prevent. So feelings, that's another thing that just persuade people how they even begin to interact with somebody. So it's really just being in tune. You got to know like what you want, and just having like these plans and that focus, like not even for yourself, but like when it comes to growth and development. If you're not aligning with what I have going on, then unfortunately it's just not going to work. So it's just, again, everybody see things, feel things different, but you really got to understand and know who you are dealing with, even like beforehand. If you want to be sort of caught up in the feelings, oh, he doing this, he doing that for me, but what is it like speaking like in the background into everything? So you can go for the more so women do have more unrealistic what they want. And a man at the end of the day, like, he know he's going to do for the woman that he feels like, you know what, like men know it. Women is more so about the feelings and wanting that attachment, and also wanting to not prevent something from like just past repeats or whatever. So, but that's my my spiel.
At the end of the day, it's a man going to do one or two things. He either going to treat you like you his, or he gonna treat you like you his turn. And men and women already know that men decide who gets married. Whether he want to marry you or not, he gonna marry you within the first month or so.
Absolutely.
And men already know that when a nigga broke and he proposed and want to marry, they still marry a broke nigga. So if you still with him with 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, then you know you just a turn. So like you just gotta either enforce or just be about your bread.
But see, a lot of people, they be afraid of that wasted time. Oh, I've been in this situation for 2 or 3, and it's like not a way. It's only wasted time if you're continuing into something and you like, you know what, it's not giving. Let me be patient. Let me just see. You either can decide, you know what, I'm gonna keep going ahead and I can be this whatever. That's on you. But
Hold on, you got a car note?
Do I have a car note?
Yeah.
It's paid off.
Let's just say it wasn't, and you was with a dude for 6 months and he paid your car off. Did you waste your time?
No.
There you go. Get what you can. If nigga stringing you along, ain't trying to marry you, Get what you can.
But that's the thing.
You
But
don't
see,
waste your
what
damn
women
time.
can't,
Get
most women
your
can't
shit
do that.
paid off. Get your mortgage paid. You know, y'all got to be about y'all shit, bro. Because I'm
But
telling you,
that's the thing. Most people cannot do that. Women cannot do that. You saying come like get what you can. If
what
you
you
got
mean
that
most women
mindset,
can't
like,
do
you know,
that?
I'm gonna deal with this person, that's fine. But if you like, dang, he doing this, he doing that. Now my emotions is tied, and you mean to tell me like, okay,
That's where you
done?
messed up. You getting your emotions in it. That's what
Exactly,
women who not smart, stupid women do that
and that's
because
where I'm
he
saying
ain't got his emotions in it.
that's
His,
most
his
women.
emotions is probably only last for 2 to 3 minutes when he on top of you, and that's
So,
about it.
So
but
let me just get it. I just want to say this, Jasmine. Prior to this week, dude was a good guy who was a photographer who you kind of was proud of and you was repping. I think it would have been better if you just held him down and didn't come on and put him like this. I'm not saying the 6 years that you had to hold him down. I'm talking about in the post relationship conversation about Buddy, because he wasn't as bad as it sounded in the last
But
15 minutes.
I said that. I said I won't take nothing away from him. He was successful. But I look at that as still successful. I look at he's just not a husband. He's not making sound decisions to build towards what I'm looking for. I said I wanted to be married. I said I wanted a kid. I said I want a house. I said all these things. You're not making those type of decisions. And that is not the kind of studio he is.
When she said he had a music studio.
It was not a music studio.
He sent us this on the email. He said this
got the studio.
My God, it is a photography studio.
And furthermore, no matter what nobody say, you got a sweetness about you that you should maintain, and I think it's gonna work out, and you're gonna get you a man. If you transfer into the where the cash at type of shit,
Oh no.
you're gonna be stuck in the streets.
I'm not. I trust. I'm not jaded. I'm just very much aware right now. So I'm very.
I don't think most women are with a cash app.
We're not. Everybody want to be with somebody and really hold like.
And that's why y'all keep getting finessed, because if if a man coming in saying, you know, where your bedroom at, because that's what we gonna be coming. We're not gonna come in here and wipe. We don't even know you yet. We don't even, unless we really leveled up and shit and got our shit together, and we looking at you as a vessel for our children. We might be looking for a wife. Like we got everything we don't need. We just need you to come in here and make some babies and shit. But most of the time, we just coming to knock it down. And a lot of y'all are stupid, and y'all just gonna give it up, and we ain't gonna require us to do nothing for it. That's why we glad. Yeah, go be emotional. Get in your feelings. I'm gonna tell you everything you want to hear.
Stop giving it up.
Jasmine, were you dating him?
That's
post
bad
weight?
advice.
Did you lose the
Great
weight while you
advice.
was with him, or did you lose it after you, like, had your body and stuff transformed when you first met him, or was that before? Was you big when y'all first got together, or you know how you said you was big when you was young?
That's like she ain't been big.
I could have sworn she said she. What was you saying that was going on when you was young?
I said
Hey yo, I got a photography studio. Hey Jazz, I got this photography studio.
I'm with you.
I take pictures for a living.
Stop telling that girl, man.
He had a humongous studio.
This is bad.
He had a huge studio. It's hard to manage a studio and pay rent and do all that stuff. So that's why I didn't mind, helping out and doing.
Oh, we know. We
She
know.
is defending, baby. She was in love. She is defending this man.
I don't even know why we broke up. Y'all don't know the reason why we broke up. We broke up because we argued all the time because he wanted to be a podcaster. He wanted to talk what women should do and how women should be, and I couldn't do it.
He was a YouTuber.
It stopped. Shut up. He said it stopped.
He was a
Girl,
real
chat.
Pick a struggle.
So he started doing
Shout out
red
to the
pill
chat
content.
ninjas.
He
Shout
started.
out to the chat ninjas for predicting that shit. Because every last one of them.
He started doing red pill content. Was it? It was red pill.
Doing lives on Instagram all the time, just talking
He
about
probably had black pill,
how
bro.
women act, and he was referring to.
Red pill.
Damn. How long ago did he start doing the red pill stuff?
That was
Like 2 years ago.
COVID, like around COVID time.
So y'all relationship ended because of the red.
That's when everybody started.
It ended because he wanted to argue with me about it, and I was like, "No, we're not about to."
Holy shit!
Wow.
Hey Jasmine, I don't know if you was reading the chat, But when you said that he was a photographer, all you started saying was podcaster.
Yeah, they sure did. They had it. They called it.
Y'all called that shit out. That's how the studio looked, y'all.
That's
Salute to the chat. Y'all called that one.
crazy. And he was so upset with y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. He hated y'all.
I bet he did.
He did.
He was super. I know he hated me the most.
Oh yeah, he was convinced. He said, "Watch them niggas go slide in your DMs." I was like, "These niggas."
Oh, this shit is coming.
So let me ask: did he ever? Wait,
You watch it, bro?
did any of the stuff we ever say make him seem away? So
Yep.
he kind of was.
Yep,
Yeah.
he was standing right there looking like, "Oh, so you don't listen to them niggas? But you won't listen to them." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
help me, Jesus."
I tried to keep it P. I ain't never say
So
nothing.
y'all. So it's your fault, man. Especially you, Marcus. Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Definitely
it probably
y'all
is.
fault,
It probably is. I probably do got something to do with it though. Because she like, Marcus just told me. Please tell me you ain't never tell him.
Damn, yo,
You hit
y'all
him with
supposed to be
that?
building relationships. Y'all destroying
Ladies,
relationships
please don't go
instead,
quote
man.
no
God
other
damn.
man to your man. Please don't do it.
Yeah, never do that. That's bad luck.
If you got some game,
No,
maybe
it's bad luck.
show with
Some
him.
very bad luck.
Y'all talk about it.
Very bad luck.
Don't quote none of us directly to your man.
I said,
Please
"Listen, wait, don't
No,
say
never.
it."
Never. No comparisons. None of that shit. None of that.
Hell nah. That shit. Hey.
Don't even
hey.
say he got a good idea.
Hey, Jazz, straight up.
Just be like, what you think of this? Hit him with the what you think of this and send him the clip. And then you figure out how you could get your information in.
He was like, I can't believe you listening to Derek Jackson right now.
You saying I'm Derek Jackson, Sweeney?
No, you gotta remember who was popular at that time.
Oh my God.
Nah, he been red pill for 2 years, but when you been on the podcast what, like 7 months, 6 months?
Not that long. Just last year.
And did more fights come from this
years ago.
podcast than anything?
Yes.
Who was
I'm
who was the
sure.
worst culprit? Was it me or was it Darwin?
Mr. Lego.
Mr. Lego.
Oh,
Yeah, because he used to be
oh,
talking about
oh,
trying
yeah.
to eat your booty and all this other extra shit.
Yeah, he was wild.
Yes,
my God. Did he ever end up flying you out?
Huh?
Did he ever end up flying you out?
They live together.
Oh, you say he offered? God damn.
He offered on
She
a
over there
live.
giving a tea. She giving a tea. No,
He offered on a live. That ain't private
No.
information. He offered on a live.
Oh shit.
Mr. Lego ain't got no chill. That nigga
No
trying to
chill.
go in.
No chill. He said I'm going in.
You did one of his coaching sessions?
Hell no.
Shout out to Let Go, man. Shout out to the hubby Let Go. He out here ruining relationships and shit. God damn.
Hey, no, hey.
Do he still watch the podcast now that y'all broke up?
I doubt it.
He probably
He doing his own thing. Hey, look, watch when he does. She gonna put his. She gonna
Nah,
put
he
his. thing in the
ninja
back
watching
pack.
now.
Matter of fact, did he ever get in the comments?
Hey, don't be surprised when one Thursday you pull up and he on the panel.
He was paying
That'd
me
be
money. He was
hilarious.
going to send a super chat so he could get on there. He's like, I want to. He was sending. He was on there one night. I was like,
Wait, what? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait,
Golly.
hold on. Wait, that nigga wasn't paying no bills, but he was sending super chats.
He was paying bills. They was going. But bro, before you send all of these mail comments and flag the video, remember I tried to hold you down a little bit and say, you want to tell me secrets about a rap nigga? It's more attractive if you hold him down. That came from me. So
Don't hold it
you know, Bruiser and Sweeney, remember I said,
Hell no.
Dan said, don't.
Well, it's always two sides to a story, yo.
I'm only reacting to the things that she say. I ain't said nothing that she didn't say already. She said he wasn't doing none of that shit. That he sending super chats.
Get out of here. I'm done with you. Next.
Let me get to the super chat. I think he just super chatted now.
Oh shit! Don't be talking about me, bro.
Nah, somebody was talking about. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
did he?
He says, as someone who just got a relationship with my ex, with both parents, blessings for marriage. Sweeney, right?
Aww.
do you recognize that super chat, Jasmine?
Huh?
Oh shit. Let me read who this.
Oh,
No, that was not him. You would know. His comment was very direct. You probably just say my name.
What the hell, Roof at?
Fuck you, Sweeney.
He got y'all.
Oh.
Damn.
Roof man watching too. Like, girl,
Roof
we ain't breaking
left.
our relationship up.
Yeah, get the hell
She
off
started
of
feeding
that
up some
shit.
business. She was like,
Glad
oh,
that
she
damn
got some pictures of her.
podcast.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I think he gonna come back, and I think he gonna come back.
Let me ask y'all a question. Just the minute.
If he proposed to you tomorrow, would you take him back?
No.
Go ahead and ask, man. Go ahead and ask.
Why not?
Go ahead, Shan.
So you guys are all married. Do you think it's important for your woman to love you, to truly be in love with you, or do
How
you think
dare
it's
you?
Yeah, you know what?
just a question?
Should I put it out there?
Are you serious, Sam?
And the reason why I ask is because I know I hear a lot of talk about, why don't you just give this other guy a chance, right? As if it'll just work, the love doesn't make a difference, right? So I'm asking you, do you think that will work? If women were to, give a guy they really not feeling like that a chance, like, is that an honest solution, so to speak?
I think y'all find a way to make yourselves love people that you shouldn't be loving. So I don't even know how that's even a problem. If you didn't love a guy,
Yeah.
you can make
If you use it for the greater good this time, it might just work out in your favor.
Because
Yeah,
But Trev,
I'm gonna say no.
would you?
Jasmine is a prime example.
So
Hold on, Shan. What you got?
So Trev, so I think that what happens is men get used by women who really don't have feelings for them, right? Like you can't get the wife that you have that wife because she's into you. She's pouring into you. She has this want to make you. You were like, remember you saying she wasn't really a cook, but she wanted to do that for you. She wanted to learn for you. There's something that comes with wanting to be with a man that fuels you to want to do everything, to
Absolutely. And one of the main things that I tell men is do not ever in life chase women. You get women who are already into you. Absolutely. Or else it will not work in your favor. Now, at the same time, I still tell women that you have to be careful about what it is that you're looking for, right? And it's about just having an understanding of what you should appreciate, right? Just like me, if I decided that I was going to get into women who just had like BBLs and, some silicone breasts or like whatever, I know that I'm going to get myself into some serious issues. So I would say, you know what? This ain't no good. I probably need to start searching for more virtuous women, right? So I would do that. So for women, I would say, listen, you need to get with a man or start to learn to appreciate men that are for you, that are willing to do things for you, that are willing to cover you, whether it's financially, of course, security in every fashion, right? Men that could be aligned with you morally, men that would raise children with you together well, right? Men that you can follow his lead and trust in his leadership. Those are the type of things that you would have to be looking for.
But would he get the same woman that you got though? That's the problem. Like he wouldn't get the same side of her.
So Shan,
okay,
I agree with you. No, I agree with what you're saying, and I think that'd be the main issue when we come on a platform and men, not on this platform, but like throughout the space, when men talk about their wife withholding sex from them. They talk about like arguing all the time. They talk about some of the stuff they experience that's negative. I think that come from her not loving them. I think it's nothing like when your woman actually wants you, actually love you. She act completely different. Like never says no to sex. She be trying to do sweet shit to like turn you on more. She is infatuated with you. It just work out better. I seen relationships where men love the women more than they love him. That shit will never work. It's something about us being like puppy dogs for a woman that just turn their ass off. She has to actually like want you. So I think the women do gotta love you.
It's a matter of let me try to respond to that question. It's a matter of duty. It's duty. It's duty. Period. Like it ain't nothing I can do to make. You just gotta want to do it. That's just something.
Want to do it.
You gotta look at what I'm doing for you, and the lifestyle I'm providing, and the assignment. Where we going? And be like, okay, look, I'm down with this shit, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure the nigga that's rocking with me is good. That's all it is. It ain't no, I gotta put a certain spell or I gotta hit the G spot every time to make you. No, it's just something that you gotta internalize in yourself to decide that's what you want to do.
And if you don't want to do that, then you can check out.
And I look at it like this.
I think
everything is a choice. Because I get what Marcus is saying, right? Oh, a woman would do that if she really loves you. A woman also do that if she chooses to do it. She'll turn it off. There's moments where a woman loves the hell out of you and do everything under the sun for you, and then next week she can't stand your ass and won't do shit.
Exactly.
And it's all still a choice. She's choosing to do whatever she wants to do, just like she chooses to fall in love with the wrong person. That's an active choice. When you say a motherfucker ain't been shit for 3 years, and you say, oh, well, just like a woman can turn that shit off at some point down the line and say, you know what? I am no longer feeling this nigga. I was just feeling 3 years ago, and that nigga was knocking the bottom out her shit, and she was feeling him and loving him and everything else. She turns that shit off, and she wants to leave him. It's the same way that you can fall in love with a man.
So do you think?
So Sweeney, when she makes that choice, is it off of logic or love?
What you mean?
Well, is it off a logical feeling?
I think her choices, that a lot of the choices that women make are based off of their feelings.
Right.
But I think the problem is that they make their choices. They don't choose based in logic though. So for instance, if they sit there and they see two guys in front of them, right? And granted, this nigga will make her tingle and everything else under the sun. He hits the vibe box for her. But he doesn't do any of the other things that she expects of a man. Now, this man may not hit the vibe box all the time or whatever, but he does all the other things for her. She would still choose the one that she made an emotional decision based on. And then when she comes out of it, because she's going to still make the choice eventually down the line to not do those things for this guy anymore. When she could have this guy right here where she didn't get everything, but she got most of what she needed from a man from this guy right here. And did she necessarily love him in the beginning? Probably not.
So I disagree.
Right, but it's still,
Speedy.
yeah, but it's still off of feeling. I mean, so she can.
I disagree.
So, go ahead.
I think that some women do base their feelings, their decisions off of feelings. But when you got women who are going after men just because he's rich or he has money, that's logic. It has nothing to do with feelings.
Oh, most definitely. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about.
I think it's some women who are all logical. It's about what you can do for me financially, and then you have some women who base their decisions off of their emotions. Like, I really love this guy. This is the guy of my, all of those things. So I think there's a combination, and so I think that now what is happening is more women are going more the logical route instead of the emotional route. It is kind of, now that heart is not in it.
That still doesn't last. That still doesn't last.
The only problem with that,
you're right. I agree, Jay.
Right. So then, so she's still going off of feeling. It's just how she's feeling in that moment.
Yeah, and
how she feels about money.
How she feels about money.
Right.
And she's logical with the man that she don't want. She's still back because there's still a guy that she's checking for that she's basically completely off of feelings, and he ain't doing none of the shit that she's requiring this guy for. Women only tend to be very linear and logical for the motherfuckers that they don't want. Yeah. If you trying to disqualify a dude, you will put every roadblock and check mark in front of it to make sure that he disqualifies. But if it's a dude that hit the vibes right, you're gonna throw all caution to the wind and say, yep, I want to be with him. And then you wind up in Jasmine's situation with a photographer of 3 years that ain't commit.
So let me ask you a question, Sweeney. Let me reverse it.
I'm sorry, Jasmine. I'm gonna stop picking on.
Let me reverse it. Have you guys ever had a woman who logically she makes sense, but she just wasn't? It just like Trev said, I gotta want to spend time with her. She may have logically like boom, 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 but it was just like, this ain't it.
You know the difference is it wouldn't be logical for me to stay with her if we can't get along and I don't want to be around her.
Would not get along.
No, Trev, I'm gonna answer that real quick and easy.
She could be a door, like she could be catering to you, all of those things, but just like this ain't it.
You want to know where men's emotional decisions pop up where we weren't thinking logical? How that manifested itself? Bad baby mamas. That one that you said, God damn, of all the people I got pregnant in the world, it had to be you. That's where our logic, we don't think logically in certain instances. But when we choosing a woman like a wife, we're very literal. We very concise on how we do that. But how we do tend to throw caution to the wind with who we fuck.
So Shan, to answer your question, if I gotta choose between the two, I'm gonna go with the one you said. So if it's between logic and emotion, I choose the logic. Hopefully you can get both, but if I gotta make a choice, it's gonna be logic, and that's because, as me and Darwin talked about earlier, the impact of not having a father in the household. I want to make sure that I have a woman who wants to be there no matter what, so that I can also be in that household, and I won't be having any of the complaints that a lot of the people say on YouTube. And that's
What if she's not attractive?
then she wouldn't have made it past the initial phase. Now,
Look, man.
that's based off of the options I got. If I didn't have, like, say I had a different set of options, and it was a real crazy girl that was gonna give me hell, was fine as hell, and I only had an option between a 5 or that's gonna be holding me down and do the right thing, I'm gonna choose the 5.
See, the thing about it is, when you talk about attraction, I mean, I think it's more lazy if she's lazy. Because if she's not all that attractive, as long as she ain't lazy, she can become attractive. Like, if you can give her pointers, hey, look, you need to tighten up and here and there, she can become attractive for you. But there's another side to this emotion thing. When you said, oh, she's leaving, or she don't want to be there because she's not emotionally connected, or she don't feel like loving you. But there's another side when you get married to that emotional. You start tacking on the other person's feelings. So like you start saying, well, I might not feel like being here, but he feels like he wants me here, so I'm going to stay here anyways. So there's two sides to the emotion that start to bridge when you get into a marriage. It's like a lot of shit that I might not want to do, but I know that she enjoys it. I'm going to do it anyways, even though I don't want to do it. So once you start getting into marriage, you start tapping into that side of the feelings where it becomes mutual. It becomes a bridge between y'all. So like whenever you see your woman cry, or you see your woman hurt, it kind of do something shit to you. You start feeling the side effects of the tears that come down her eyes or some shit like that. And I'm not trying to pander, but this is the connection you can establish if you really want to be with this woman. And even if you don't want to be there, just knowing how it'll make her feel, you tend to stay there anyways. So
you start
like those things are like ways to it's like insurance. It's like a way to catch you, kind of give you, allow you to have grace. You know what I'm saying? Or give the relationship a little bit more time to get over the humps that y'all might encounter. So I don't know if y'all can understand that part. Maybe y'all gotta actually get married and figure that out.
No, you're absolutely right, Bruiser. That's when you do start to make concessions in your marriage and everything like that. It's you make those choices. Because the reality is that there is another person on the side, or on the other side of this. It can't always just be all about you.
I think it still boils down to the 80-20.
Because I remember, like, when I was trying to hurry up and get to a meeting that I needed to be at, and I was kind of getting frustrated because she was, I mean, she couldn't walk up the stairs fast enough. And then when I saw her get up the stairs and how she was, I'm tired. That feeling kind of immediately left me, because then I started to have this considerate, because I don't know if that's the right word, compassion or courtesy for her. You know what I'm saying? And I started to like, damn, man, your heels must be really hurting in them shoes. You know what I'm saying? So those things start happening in your relationship, and you start putting your feelings aside. What the hell is so funny, man?
Oh no, man! I got a bad sense of humor. I have a very dark sense of humor, man. You can't mind me, bro. I got a dark sense of humor, man. It's no disrespect to anybody. It's like the panting. You right, so when it was a panting going up the stairs, man, that just sounded crazy. Man. I'm like, God damn. Like, what was happening, bro?
Nah, but I found out she was about 7 or 8 months pregnant. So.
Oh damn! You bastard!
Why you not recognize she was pregnant for 7 months? What the hell was you doing?
Yo,
Hey, look, you know who he sound like?
Yeah.
You remember on next Friday? He said a little pudge on the stomach, man. I thought it was eating.
Yo.
That's good, yeah.
Sure, he's fucked up. Yeah.
Hey, man, we got to go ahead and close this on out, man. I know folks got to get up out of here, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's make sure we follow everybody on the panel. Let's make sure we support whatever it is they have going on. YouTube channels, fashion, Jasmine in the fashion. Shan, she be strolling like once a month. Oh, you don't stroll no more?
Jasmine, do he take your fashion pictures for you?
Oh shit.
Not anymore. I do them myself. I am.
Yeah, Shan. Shan.
Better erase them hard drives that he got in that camera in the bedroom.
Let me put the picture back up. Wrong picture. Hold on.
Go away. No.
What kind of picture is this?
You was in the studio.
I did not see that background in one of your pictures, Jasmine.
Yeah. If I show you the real studio, you would gag.
What?
Yeah.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
You said the studio was gay?
It was gag.
Oh, gag. All right, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, out of here. Hold on. Wait 1 second. Gotta get queued up.
Oh man.
All right.
I've been chilling in the studio trying to get to you, baby.